Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, a U.S. Saudi dual citizen faced prolonged torture while imprisoned in Riyadh's notorious Ritz-Carlton hotel and has since been visited by U.S. diplomatic staff. That's according to the White House. The Mind Unleashed reports that Walid Fitahi, a 54-year-old Harvard-trained physician, was among around 200 prominent Saudis who were held captive in the luxury hotel amid a major purge of the royal family ostensibly carried out in November 2017, amid an anti-corruption drive by Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Many faced severe torture and even death. Those who survived the torture were forced to sign over their fortunes to the prince as a condition of their release. Fitahi, who has been in detention since the infamous purge began, was allegedly slapped, blindfolded, stripped to his underwear, and bound to a chair before being tortured with electric shocks in an hour-long session. That's according to a friend who spoke with the New York Times. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% off your purchase by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the Liberty Beat for Tuesday, March 5th, 2019. Your news now continues. The Chief of Staff to Democratic Socialist Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez reportedly funneled more than $1 million in political donations from two political action committees that he founded into two of his own private companies. That's according to a report from the Washington Examiner, which cites a Monday complaint filed with the Federal Election Commission. The Mind Unleashed reports that according to campaign finance attorneys, the arrangement is really weird and an indication that there's something amiss, noting that since there's no way to know where the political donations went, they could have been pocketed or used to pay for off-the-books campaign operations. While PACs are required by law to disclose how funds are used, the private companies are exempt from such reporting. The FEC complaint demands that the two PACs be audited because they were allegedly engaged in an elaborate scheme to avoid proper disclosure of campaign expenditures. Corey Jackson, a preteen rapper who goes by the name of Lil C-Note, became famous in 2017 after he appeared on the Ellen DeGeneres Show and traveled to different cities to donate his earnings in the form of toys to underprivileged children. Fast forward to 2018, and those same entrepreneurial skills which he received praise for on Ellen made him the target of the Georgia police state. In October of last year, Jackson was in the food court at the Cumberland Mall in Cobb County when a Georgia cop physically assaulted him and threatened him with arrest. His alleged crime was selling copies of his records to willing customers. The Free Thought Project reports that although Jackson was accused of selling his CDs in the mall, he and his attorneys deny it, and even if the aspiring young rapper was selling them, the subsequent arrest and charges were hardly appropriate for a child. Jackson is 12 years old. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat for Tuesday, March 5th, 2019. Reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Like many young inner-city students, Chicago area high school sophomore Brandy Perkins struggles every day to motivate her teachers. The frustrated 16-year-old talked to Onion reporters this morning to discuss the challenges she faces in reaching out to her underperforming educators.
Connecting with the teachers gets harder and harder every year. We all come in every morning eager to learn, but most of the teachers just seem completely uninterested in education. One of my teachers, Miss Manley, has been particularly hard to work with. She was quiet at first, but she showed some potential. I thought maybe she just needed a little time to come out of her shell, but as the weeks went by, she just sat there listlessly at her desk, never talking or participating. It just makes you feel so helpless.
For more on this story, check this week's Onion Review.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. Welcome to the show. You can dial toll-free to join us here and take control of the airwaves. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Coming up, more on Operation Choke Point. We covered it briefly the other night when a caller called in to bring up a video that, Laurel, you had made and put on your YouTube channel. Welcome back. It's been a few weeks.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Laurel Scott with us here. Also, Johnson, welcome back.
Hello.
Things have kind of been a little jumpy on Tuesday nights. We've been shifting in and out, different hosts. Derek J. Freeman's coming back once a month, and Vin. So Tuesday's going to be our most varied night of co-hosts during the month. So I'm glad that you guys are here.
You mean the most interesting.
There you go. And then we can talk about these the supposed shutdown NSA phone spying program, as well as the supposed shutdown of this thing that you wanted to tell us about, Laurel,
Operation
this
Choke Point. Yeah.
So that's all on the way. But Johnson, there's some controversy brewing over this upcoming Marvel movie. These things, of course, have been coming out 2 to 3 every single year for the last many more than several years. I don't even know when this trend of the Marvel movie thing started, but it's huge. I've seen maybe a couple of Marvel movies in the last decade, so by no means am I in any way following the franchise. I know Mark Edge, who's one of our regular co-hosts, is a huge fan. He goes and sees all of these movies in the theater. What about you, Johnson? Are you a big Marvel fan?
I've been watching all the Marvel movies, well, at least for the main sort of plot lines, like let me see. I mean, there's the Iron Man stuff and the Captain America and Thor and the Avengers and that whole
There's been a few of
situation.
Those movies each, right?
Yeah. But apparently a lot of people want to see the new Captain Marvel movie get Thanos. So
Thanos is a bad guy. That's a bad guy who's destroyed the world or something like that.
Half of every living being in the universe.
Wow. That's
by snapping
impressive.
his fingers.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So they're mad. People on the internet are mad about something?
Yeah.
Tell me it isn't so. What is it now? What is it that they could possibly be so upsetting about this movie?
Especially people on 4chan. How could they ever be angry?
Okay.
So this story is from Wired, and it goes on here to say the flood of trolling on Rotten Tomatoes started about a month ago. Weeks before the release of Captain Marvel, commenters on the site were already claiming the movie was garbage and that they had no intentions of seeing it. Terrible movie, hated already, wrote one. Not interested in seeing another social justice warrior propaganda film, claimed another. And finally, this movie is destined to flop. Another day, another attempt to pillory a film long before anyone in the comments threads could have even seen the movie in question. We've written this story before. Hell, we've even written this story before, but now Rotten Tomatoes is trying to do something about it.
The odds are very slim that the people who are commenting about a movie like this have received a screener. I mean, every now and then, for the reviewers out there, sometimes they get sent screener copies of films, and they usually have, I don't know if you've ever seen one of these things where there's usually some kind of a stamp at the bottom with like a graphic on it, and then a timer or something like that.
If one of those screeners leaks to the pirate sites, it's possible that anyone could have seen this.
Well, right, that's true. But that's where you normally see screeners is on the pirate sites. But that's why they put those things at the bottom is so they can identify each screener to see who's leaking the screener out if somebody leaks it out. So they try to put it in a way that you can't easily kind of crop over top of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then again, if one of their complaints is that it's too far to the left, that's most of the movies out there these days. So you don't actually have to see the movie to know that that's going to happen.
That you can presume that.
That's really why I don't go to the movies anymore. I don't watch this. I don't watch any of them. I haven't seen a movie in several years. They're all too far to the left. I'm done. I'm done. And I think the people on 4chan who are saying all these things, they don't need to go out and troll. Just you vote with your feet. Just don't go to the movies anymore.
I don't know that the movie is going to be as bad as maybe the people are predicting it's going to be. It's possible. I mean, for sure, there have been some doozies that have come out from Hollywood movies lately. But I think that the reason why that they are attacking it is because of some very inflammatory things that Brie Larson, the actor who plays Captain Marvel, has said. I don't have a list of those in front of me, and I'm not sure that this article is going to cover them, but I can grab some of them, after we've gone over this.
Sure.
But the article goes on to say, on Monday, the movie review site announced some changes to the way that it deals with audience scores, specifically that it will no longer show the want to see percentage score, the one that gets posted next to all of those reviews above of a movie before it's released. Why? We've found that the want to see percentage score is oftentimes confused with the audience score percentage number. The site staff wrote in a blog post referencing the number compiled after the movie has been released and people have theoretically seen it. True to their word, the company now relegates the want to see option to a small button below Captain Marvel's scores, which are blank since the critics' preview embargo is still in effect. And
wait a minute. Okay, so they have previewed the movie, but they've told critics they can't review it yet. They can't publish their reviews.
Yeah,
okay, that's what a preview embargo is.
Yeah. I guess it's a review embargo. I just misread that. So
okay.
It's a review embargo.
Right. They've got their reviews written. They're just not allowed to publish them yet, basically.
I guess technically it's a preview review. Anyway, the embargo is still in effect and no general audiences have seen it yet. But sequestering want to see isn't all Rotten Tomatoes is doing to stop the trolls. The site is also turning off the comment function before a movie's release date. Unfortunately, the blog post noted, we've seen an uptick in non-constructive input, sometimes bordering on trolling, which we believe is a disservice to our general readership. The site, as of this writing, doesn't seem to have scrubbed the previous comments about Captain Marvel, but no new ones have gone up since Monday, so it seems the influx of hateration has stopped.
Well, why did they have a comment section before the movie was out anyway?
It's just the way the site was set up.
Yeah, it's just the way this. I mean, they, that way, if people wanted to generate hype for a movie, potentially, especially smaller movies,
you can still talk about the trailer. You can talk about the marketing. You can talk about other things.
Okay, so they had a comment section out for people specifically to comment on the movie before it came out. So it would be based on people's feelings about what they know about the movie before it's out.
That's right.
And now they're getting upset that people are doing that.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
That sounds right.
What's interesting too is this is, they're doing this based on criticisms of larger films, right? And the Hollywood blockbusters, which are going to be the ones that are going to be the most likely targets for this kind of trolling. But the ones where this kind of commenting and this kind of action, let's just say, this kind of hype, those are going to be the smaller films where it's going to be very beneficial for those independent film studios that are going to get this kind of, preview hype and, fan action that is probably extremely ustle and helpful to them.
So is this not hype? Does this not get the movie in the news?
Yeah, I think that it does.
For sure, we're talking about it.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that this restriction is going to hurt the smaller movies.
Yeah, I think it's coming about is going to hurt smaller studios and smaller films. And
presuming there's any significant amount of people that actually care about the comment section on
I think
IMDb.
That there are a lot of people that actually. It's not IMDb.
It's probably
it's Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, Rotten Tomatoes. I'm sorry.
And I think a lot of people read Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, you look at them. There's hundreds of thousands of reviews on some of these movies.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's a very large site. And I think
I like it. I like Rotten Tomatoes.
I like Rotten Tomatoes, and I
don't blame them.
I've developed my own little system because I actually look at and I compare the critic reviews to the audience rating. And generally, I found if the critic reviews are significantly higher than audience rating, that movie is going to be awful. And if it's the reverse, it's going to be an excellent movie because it's probably, if the internet generally tends to like a movie and the critics don't, it's probably just not the most intellectually rewarding film of all time, but it's probably a really good time.
A good movie.
But if it's the opposite, then it's probably just, leftist dreck.
There's more coming up here. You can share your thoughts with us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Did they make the right decision by restricting people from commenting on movies before they're released? You can share your thoughts with us. Bring up what you want. Free Talk Live. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global. Drop your personal crypto wallet addresses in our setup page, and then load our app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. That's AnyPay.global. There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Free Talk Live, the show where anyone can call about whatever they want. And we do mean anyone.
It's happening every day. They sip some kind of chemicals through the floor.
Oh, so it's like gas.
It sounds crazy, but it's the truth.
I was under the impression they were coming into your house and holding you down.
Well, they can come in. Oh, yeah, I got remote controls right now. I can't find them. I listen to this preacher man. Every time I listen to him, some kind of way they turns the station off.
Maybe it's just going off.
I mean, you'd be surprised.
They've got the remote, Mark.
How much power they have, and that's what they got. They got a lot of power.
I think you should go get some help.
I think you should talk to somebody who cares about you and ask them about psychological help. Somewhere, someone has had gas pumped into their room, but I just don't think it's happening with Mary because she's outspoken.
What does she speak out against? I should have asked her that.
I don't know.
Damn it.
You're done.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. It's Bitcoin.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free to bring up whatever you want here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. The internet, some portion of it, is upset about this new Marvel movie, the Captain Marvel. Apparently, it is a female comic book superhero. I've never heard of her before this movie, but then again, I'm not a big comic book fan. So, have you heard of? Did you follow any comic books growing up?
Oh no.
More of like a Barbie doll kind of girl.
No,
not that either.
No, I watched a lot of TV.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, you, Johnson, you were into the Marvel DC.
I'm into
universe?
everything.
Yeah.
TV, comic books, movies, video games.
So if you want to jump in, comment, you're welcome to join us here at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm, and that's where you can go to sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Free Talk Live, by the way, brought to you by Bitcoin.com. That is your source for everything Bitcoin-related. They can help you choose a Bitcoin wallet, help you buy Bitcoin, and even show you where you can spend your Bitcoin. So head on over to Bitcoin.com, and you can read the latest news headlines or engage with the community on the Bitcoin Forum. Again, that's Bitcoin.com. As we continue here, you can bring up anything that you want. We'll talk more about Captain Marvel and what exactly, because there's a Wired story about this. That's how much attention this situation has gotten. Johnson, you'll continue that. But first, David is in New Hampshire. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Laurel and Johnson.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you guys remember the Ed and Elaine Brown standoff? Obviously.
Yeah, well, I do, but our audience may not. Ed and Elaine Brown were people who had not paid the income tax for a number of years, and the federal government targeted them as a result of that for basically stealing their home and locking them up in a prison cell. They kind of held off the feds for about 6 months or so at their house, basically holding up in their house and threatening that they had planted bombs among their property and mined the property and that kind of thing. So it was a very interesting situation that, of course, sadly ended. Thankfully, nobody died in this case, but they did get arrested ultimately and put in a prison cell, likely for the rest of their lives, both Ed and Elaine Brown. She was a veterinarian, I think. Or no, a dentist. She was a dentist, and he was a pest control guy. So what's the latest?
That didn't work out.
She was my dentist.
Oh, really?
But, yeah. But the latest is, again, when you have a standoff like this, it's not crushing the standoff that makes the government look bad. It's all the things they do on the periphery that really show their true colors. And one of the things they've done, they're still doing things. So what they did, the most latest abuse, actually wasn't by the federal government, but by one of the local governments in relation to this standoff. And that is that they prevented Joe Haas. Do you remember Joe Haas?
Joe is a eccentric old guy here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's
the
about
one.
right. Joe Haas,
I
very
said
fun
Ann.
to talk to, but not for too long.
That's a good way to sum him up. He's kind of like a conspiracy kook guy who's like all like constitutionalist character. Yeah. If he gets up in front of a panel at the State House, get ready to wait for quite a while. And they don't like him at all when he gets up there because he's always meandering all over the place. And so, yeah, what about this guy?
Well, he tried to go to. They're still having auctions for the Brown property that they're selling off.
Huh.
And so he tried to go.
A decade
later.
later.
He tried to go to one of these auctions in Nashua. And Nashua, I guess someone called the police on him or whatnot. And he was prevented from going to this federal auction.
Why?
And
he probably
buying
made a
things.
scene. He what?
Well, he was prevented from going to the federal auction and buying things. So he's at least that's what he claims, and
Yeah.
he's suing Nashua.
Oh, okay.
I have one of those. That's a great idea. You should do that kind of ideas right now, which is, for somebody who's more active than me. But I think it would be really funny to establish some kind of a fund to keep people going to these auctions, especially since it's been 10 years, to continue to buy this property, to see how long it can be shifted from property owner to property owner who refuses to pay taxes on it. So just see how long you can keep the taxes on the property unpaid.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. When they put a property up for tax sale, you have to pay the taxes in order to bid.
Well,
So whatever's unpaid on the property. So if you have a house and you don't pay taxes on it.
Are you sure that bid isn't part of just part of the total cost of the property?
No. So the way it works is let's say you have your property, you own it free and clear from the bank,
right?
And you just haven't paid taxes for a couple of years. The state of New Hampshire, or in this case the federal government, stole it, but normally it's the state or the city or whatever that takes your property. They legally take it on paper, and then they take it to what they call a tax sale. So let's say you're behind by $12,000, $15,000. Let's say that. They will then sell that property with a minimum bid of $15,000 at that point.
Right.
So somebody could buy your property for $16,000 if nobody else bids on the property, and then essentially they pay the $15,000 towards the tax bill, and they get the property for the extra grand on top.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, unfortunately, you can't do whatever. they figured that out, and they're not going to let you do that. But Dave, do you know what kind of property they're selling? I knew they had a house, but is it like cars and snow blowers, or like what do they got?
All I know is that Joe wanted to buy the podium that was seen on Fox News. Whenever Ed would come out to make one of his rambling statements, that was the podium he stood in front of. And Joe wanted that podium as a souvenir, but apparently he wasn't allowed to bid on it, and someone else bought it for $20.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I would not expect his lawsuit to necessarily go anywhere. I think that he's the kind of guy who files his own suit, so he probably isn't hiring an attorney. And if you don't hire an attorney, you're going to have a tough time within the court system. And I know he has lost, other lawsuits.
Yeah, I'm wondering what his basis is for the suit.
Probably discrimination.
You don't lose a lawsuit when you lose a lawsuit. In a sense, you win by tying down the government. I mean, I could tie them down all year.
That's a strange that's a strange way to view the court system. I mean, if you are in the courts, you're losing because you're losing your time at the very least. You're certainly losing a little bit of money for filing fees, even if you're handling it yourself. If you're handling it with an attorney, you're going to lose a lot more than filing fees. And then even if you so-called win, which he's not likely to win, but even if you do win, you're still out all that time, and that's all time that you could have been doing. You could have been doing something productive with, something that you actually enjoy, unless you enjoy sitting in court.
There's also
there you go. If you're having fun, so that's another historical precedent in New Hampshire is Christopher King, who had a similar problem in Nashville, where he tried to attend a Kelly Ayotte event. She was the senator for a while. And they wouldn't let him attend the Kelly Ayotte events with his camera to film. So he sued over that, and I went to court with him to watch this process. And yes, he absolutely earned his time in there, even though he lost, because he was an attorney, a federal judge. He was tying down all these Republican attorneys, and it was amazing how much they threw at him, and it didn't hurt him any; it wasted their time.
So there's this thing called vexatious litigation, where if your purpose is exactly that, just to tie up the hands of the person you're filing suit against, and you do it repeatedly, not just once, but lots of times, that's actually a crime in some states.
Well, and it's not going to take down the state because all they'll do is hire more attorneys. Thanks, Dave, for the call. Appreciate the update there. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want. It's Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America. as well as sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video or audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it. Wait on the counter. Now.
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. With you tonight, it's Ian.
I'm Laurel.
And I'm Johnson.
And also coming up in about 3 months, just over 3 months from now, ForkFest 2019. It is the decentralized camping festival here in New Hampshire, and it comes the 5 days prior to the Porcupine Freedom Festival, which probably more people have heard of that. That event's entering its 15th year, and ForkFest is entering its 3rd year. You can go to forkfest.party and learn more about the event there. Now, the most important thing you need to know about ForkFest is that it is not an organized festival as far as there's no central organization. There's no board of directors. There's no organizer. It's just the 5 days prior to PorcFest or the Porcupine Freedom Festival. And you kind of decide what to do on your own. So if you want to organize a thing for the other attendees, then please, by all means. You want to put on a seminar. You want to put on a musical event. You want to put on a poker game. Already we've had Steven Zeiler call in from AnyPay.global announcing they're going to have a rave tent basically every single night during ForkFest this year. So the party level is definitely going to be going up, which is good news. And then also Jay Noon has announced he's going to be performing what he's calling Man Camp. at ForkFest. So who knows what else is going to get cooked up. I've heard people talking about doing some food vending as well. So I'm very interested to see what comes about. It's really completely up to you if you're going to attend. Do you just want to take it easy and camp with some other liberty-minded folks, voluntarists, liberty-loving anarchists, libertarians? They're going to be there. And it'll be at the beautiful Rogers Campground in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, June 13th through the 18th, ForkFest 2019. Again, June 13th through the 18th. Go to forkfest.party. There's a link there to the ForkFest Telegram chat room where there's at least 50 people in there. And I would say there's chat almost every day at the ForkFest chat. And then there's also the ForkFest forums over at forkfest.party. As we continue here, we were talking about this Captain Marvel controversy. Johnson, you had a story about it from Wired Magazine, and I guess we haven't really gotten into, I don't think, the meat of the piece here yet, but essentially this Captain Marvel movie, it's about to come out this week. It involves a female main star, this Captain Marvel. Brie Larson was her name? Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, that's the actress.
Okay. What else do we need to know?
Well, it goes on here to say this influx of horrible reviews has been stopped by the valiant efforts of Rotten Tomatoes. And
right, Rotten Tomatoes turned off commenting before the movie comes out, right? Yeah. But for all their movies. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. This, for fans and presumably studios, is a long overdue reprieve. This is the opinion of the writer of this article.
Reprieve from the horrors of people saying bad things about you?
The horrors of attention to movies. So it's nearly impossible to tell which comments are from actual fans and which are from users just out for the lulz. Movies ranging from Baywatch to Star Wars The Last Jedi have recently found themselves subjected to trollishly harsh reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. In some cases, the negative comments are earned, but in others, as was the case with The Last Jedi and, to a lesser degree, the all-female Ghostbusters.
Which wasn't that bad, by the way. I did watch it finally.
I still haven't watched that. The poor ratings have seemed driven by racist and or sexist motives from fans who don't appreciate diversity in their movies. They also might have been fueled by Russian trolls.
Is that a serious comment?
It's in parentheses here, but it's in the article. I don't know whether or not it's serious or not, considering the rest of the time.
They believe it. Just blame the Russians for everything you don't like on the internet.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It also happens that from time to time a movie gets a terrible. Maybe they think it's Russian trolls because the name of the site is RT.
Rotten Tomatoes,
as opposed to Russia Today. It also happens that from time to time a movie gets a terrible RT score from critics and fan claim bias on the part of professional reviewers, as was the case with Justice League. This writer is not very intelligent.
It's hard to find good help.
I mean, I've seen just about any of the DC movies, and I've seen quite a few of them, and they've been just a series of awful movies. But anyway, there's my review. Sorry if you're a DC fan. So, will Rotten Tomatoes' new changes come in time to save Captain Marvel from the trolls?
It won't matter. I mean, look, I understand the website is popular. There's no doubt about it. And that was your defense here, Johnson. There's a popular website. And still, even on popular websites, comments are only going to be a fraction of the viewers. Yeah. People that go to Rotten Tomatoes...
the censorship thing is the greater thing that is just infecting everywhere on the internet these days.
All right, so I'm going to go to bat for Rotten Tomatoes because you guys sound like you're against this decision, and I'm going to argue why they should do this.
Okay.
Because comments are a waste. Comments are a wasteland and a troll zone, and they're generally just awful overall. So if you're looking for people to have a more positive experience on your website, then turning off comments is a reasonable approach to do that, I think.
For this website, I disagree because the point of Rotten Tomatoes was to get the public to comment.
And
that's what Rotten Tomatoes
movies.
Is.
True. That's true.
It's for people to post their opinions about the movies.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's unfair for them to say, okay, you can post your opinion about the movie after it has been released. Yeah. And that's all they're saying here is that, look, we've looked at these comments before movies have come out, and they're overwhelmingly negative, and that's not fair. It's not fair for somebody to be able to get in there and S-talk a thing that hasn't even come out yet. I mean, how many times have you seen a movie trailer that looked great, but the movie itself was terrible? Or conversely, a movie trailer that wasn't really that great, but then you ended up seeing the movie and you're like, oh my God, this is totally different than what the trailer made it look like. This was a great film. I mean, so even if you've seen some amount of marketing for the thing, you may be able to comment on the trailer and everything on some other site, but I really don't blame them for turning this off. In the same way that
I actually have to, speaking of comic book movies, promote a movie series right now because I almost wouldn't have watched them because of the director. M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, okay. What series?
For people that don't know, M. Night Shyamalan has done some very, very terrible movies.
And a couple of good ones.
Yeah, and a couple of good ones. The Happening, where,
is that a bad one or a good one?
Spoiler alert, the trees kill everybody.
Well, now I have to go see that. That sounds good.
It's really bad. What's the other one where the aliens come to a planet to kill everyone on Earth, but they're allergic to water? So they came to a planet where it literally falls from the sky.
Yeah.
Just some things where like his sci-fi movies are very, very implausible and kind of bad in terms of that. But overall, the movie is, his other, like, I guess, approach and writing is not that bad because he works with good actors and the rest of it seems to be good.
I See Dead People. What was the name of that movie?
Yeah, Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
That's the only one I think I've seen.
Yeah,
it was good.
Pretty good. So he did.
That's where he made his name.
Yeah.
And then presumably the remainder of them have not been that great.
So I used to watch movies, so I saw that before I stopped.
So I don't know if many people know that this is a series even. So he did a movie a long time ago, like over a decade ago, by the name of Unbreakable with Bruce Willis.
Right. And Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson. And it was
who've been a great team since Die Hard 3, by the way.
So it was a comic book based movie. It was like a comic book plot.
But was it actually based on a comic book?
It was not actually based on a comic book, but it was based on comic books and there being like real superheroes, essentially.
In real life,
kind of like real life superheroes, that there are people who are stronger and weaker. And
he made a sequel.
He made 2 sequels.
Oh, already?
Yes.
I thought another one just came out.
It was not made very clear that they were all in the same universe and part of a trilogy.
So all 3 of them are out already?
They're all out.
Oh, okay.
One is in theaters now.
What's that one called?
Glass.
Okay. What was the middle one?
Split.
Oh, okay, never even heard of that one.
Yeah, and it's fantastic.
Okay.
By itself, it's fantastic.
More on the way here. 855-450, free like freedom. You can join us. Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
There are basically 2 types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Pain in my neck, back, and shoulders has really gotten worse.
Relief for body pain is here with Sunny Bay heating pads.
Well, the last thing I want is to take another pill, so what's so good about Sunny Bay heating pads?
Sunny Bay heating pads, made by Biomed DB Design right here in the USA, come in all sizes. Our extra large microwavable heating pad for back pain is designed to be large enough to cover your entire back. It's also perfect to wrap around your legs, knees, or shoulder and neck.
But I need to know they're good quality.
Of course, Sunny Bay heating pads and pillows are often an Amazon choice, and it's easy and most affordable when you purchase your Sunny Bay heating pads right from our website, sunshinepillows.com, or call us 253-678-1361.
Hey, a Sunny Bay heating pad
would make a great gift, right?
Yes, and they start at just $19.99 and free shipping is available. So call 253-678-1361 or shop for your Sunny Bay heating pad at sunshinepillows.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial on in, toll free, and bring up whatever you want here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. Just head over to discord.lrn.fm and hop in there, and you can talk to us about whatever you want. Now, coming up here tonight, we still have the Operation Choke Point. Laurel's been doing a lot of research on that, so we're going to get deeper into that discussion. And Ian, Laurel, and Johnson in the studio with you. And don't forget, you can join us online. Just go to freetalklive.com. We do have our Twitch channel. That is where we do live streaming of video of the show when we're live, which, of course, is every single night, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 at night Eastern Time. You can follow our Twitch channel by going to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. And you can hit the follow button there once you've signed into the Twitch site, which, of course, is free to do. Now, you can also send us your Twitch Prime subscription. What's Twitch Prime, you ask? Well, you may have it, but you don't realize it. If you subscribe to Amazon Prime, and there's a lot of people that do, one of the perks that Amazon gives you is one free Twitch subscription every single month. So if you didn't even know you had it, then we sure would appreciate it if you'd send it over to us. All you have to do is go to our channel, and then you hit the subscribe option on the channel. And actually, there's some instructions right below our video window that'll tell you how to link up your Amazon account with your Twitch account, which is not hard to do at all because, well, Amazon bought Twitch a long time ago.
You know that that subscription, though, does not just stick around with the same streamer. They have to go and do it every single month.
I know, which is why we're down to 25 subscribers from like 40. So yeah, if you've got Amazon Prime, just follow the instructions you'll find just below the video on twitch.lrn.fm. Link up your accounts, and then it's easy to subscribe from that point on. There's actually a little reminder thing that'll come up on the video.
It's also very easy to forget unless you're like.
That's why we're reminding you.
Yeah. And there may be people on the channel going, "Oh, I'm not subscribed."
Yeah. So thanks in advance for doing that. We certainly do appreciate it.
Are you an affiliate yet there?
No, it's going to be a long time. Oh, wait, no, partner. Yeah, we're an affiliate. We're not a partner.
If you're an affiliate now,
Yeah.
So one of the things, if you're an affiliate and someone is subscribed to your channel, you should do this immediately. You can set up now as an affiliate some icons. You know, the emotes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can set up channel-specific emotes. That's one of the biggest reminders is if someone is in the channel and has access to the emotes, they know they're a sub. If they can't use the emote or they can't see the emote, then they know that they're not subbed anymore, because it's very hard to know whether or not you're subbed or not otherwise.
I see what you're saying. There is actually a little video window thing that pops up on the video. It looks like a little king's crown that you can click on, so that's a handy reminder as well. Anyway, check it out at twitch.lrn.fm. Let's go back to the phones and to the fun. More on Marvel. Captain Marvel. There's still more to say on that, right? Coming up here. But first, we go to Wilson is in Virginia, actually watching us on Twitch. Go ahead, Wilson.
Yeah, how we doing? I just wanted to, first time, I was going to say first time, long time, but I'll just get to the point. Apprenticeships, I am impressed with what's available out here, period. I thought the only thing they had at apprenticeships in the States, specifically speaking, I'm from Puerto Rico, is everything. They got, I liked what a coworker just told me the other day. They got plenty of lanes out here, from everything from jeweler to be a jeweler to flipping work on, well, I'll just take my point on the, what do you think about apprenticeships they have out here?
Okay, so I'm new to the idea of an apprenticeship is different from an intern, right? An apprenticeship, is that somebody who works closer with...
And you get paid while you're doing
out
it.
Here? Is the United States in a whole, or...?
He means in the U.S. He's from
the States,
Puerto Rico.
Quebec, Niagara Falls, everything.
It's common to do apprenticeships in skilled trades, and you get paid while you're learning the trade. That's what an apprenticeship is all about.
That's pretty sweet. So you don't actually have to pay to go to school.
You may have to take classes, and it depends on the trade. Some of them you just have to pass an exam. So there's classes toward the exam, but to get licensed, you don't have to take the class. You just have to pass the exam.
So is this not a thing in Puerto Rico, Wilson?
There is. It's very, very hard to get in. Case in point, welding. I swear, you have to be a family member.
Yeah. Well,
part of the reason why it's easier in the U.S. is because there's been so much emphasis on university education, and there's been sort of a social stigma placed on skilled trades, which I think is very misplaced. People in skilled trades are honest workers and make a lot of money.
Sure,
so
they do.
It's very, it's really, I think, the universities who've been pushing this idea that people who go to universities are better than people who don't, and also the idea that you can only make money if you go to college.
Total
They've really
myth.
been pushing that one. Is total myth.
Yeah.
And so we see a lot of people going to college who maybe would have been better off if they've done a skilled trade, and we have a vacuum in the skilled trades. So if you have a child, a son or a daughter who's 17, 18 and is trying to decide what to do with their lives, hey, talk to them about a skilled trade. You can make good money.
Wilson, thanks for calling and sharing your thoughts here tonight. I definitely appreciate hearing from you. Thanks for watching us on Twitch. There's more coming up here with your calls and thoughts. Welcome at 855-450-FREE. Matthew is on the line in Louisiana watching us on YouTube. Go ahead, Matthew.
Yeah, good evening. So I think I heard Sarah on the Rush Limbaugh show.
Oh, no way!
Yes, well.
I swear it sounded just like her. She was calling to challenge Rush on his conservatism because he was supporting, the evil orange man. And it was kind of an interesting exchange because she kept coming at him under this, what do conservatives stand for? And eventually he just said, we're just for keeping people like you out of power.
That's all he had, huh? Was because it's hard for a conservative to answer the question of what they stand for because they don't have any principles.
Well, it is nowadays because.
Well, I disagree with that.
Really, what are the conservative principles?
Don't have sex.
I don't think that's one of them.
Fashion for enjoyment. And work hard and try to keep all of your money.
Okay. Now, what do you think the conservative principles are?
Well, generally,
Laurel?
conservative is someone who's trying to keep the good things that we've had in the past. And in my case, I believe that's the Constitution and freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. I think the Bill of Rights is under attack, and I want to conserve the Bill of Rights.
So only the good things, but not the bad things from the past?
That would be the idea, yeah.
So
if
who decides
you
what were the good things and what were the bad things?
Well, it's going to be the individual person decides what that is for themselves.
So there's no actual principle there. It's all completely arbitrary.
The only problem with that is because we've been moving more and more to a more restrictive society, both in every direction imaginable. It's like for some reason I'm supposed to be shocked because the Democrats endorse. There's some Democrat candidate, I think it might be Kamala Harris, who endorses legalizing prostitution, which is something I would like to discuss, and legalizing drugs. Again, something I would like to discuss.
Wow, I'm surprised that there's actually a candidate who supports both of those things. That's shocking to me.
The rest of her program, I can guarantee
terrifying.
you. But so does that make me a non-conservative? Because I'm open to discussing any ideas.
Yeah, well, I couldn't tell you what a conservative means. Because it doesn't really mean much of anything, as Laurel just pointed out. It means preserving
the
good things from the past, which you might think the things in the past that were good are different from what another conservative might think are in the past.
That's why people talk to each other and try to come to a consensus. But there's going to be the individual politics of the person and then the politics of the group, and they intersect as much as possible so that the group can act together. But I don't think that that's unique to conservatism.
Well, progressives are also completely arbitrary as well. So.
For the same reasons?
No, not necessarily. But
okay,
just
so
because
what are the
they're
reasons you think it's arbitrary?
The whole thing is being able to conduct a dialogue. And that is it's very difficult to do at the left because you express an opinion that's different from theirs and you're a Nazi.
Right.
You may not be German or socialist or a worker, but you're a Nazi.
It seems like the only principle that conservatives and progressives have is to listen to whatever it is the people who are in power say and agree with it. That seems to be the only consistency because, the progressives might tell you they're anti-war, but then as soon as Obama gets elected in office and starts dropping bombs, then they're all of a sudden in favor of war. Because then it's their guy who's doing the war. Oh, and the conservatives, they say they're for smaller government until their guys get in charge, in which case then they make the government bigger, and everything's totally fine.
I think there's different factions within each of these groups, and there's factions within conservatism that don't want an expansion of government.
I don't believe in the left-right paradigm. It really is a square. It may even be a cube. Because you would be up there with the anti-authoritarian economic freedom crowd, whereas somebody else might be anti-authoritarian as far as personal freedom, but totally in for the government providing the wound to the tomb.
Matthew, good call. Thanks for sharing your thoughts tonight. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. You are invited to join us here. We got a full couple hours to go. Plenty of time for you with your calls and thoughts. More on Captain Marvel and Choke Point coming up.
Know someone with a drinking or drug problem? Learn how to get sober after we share these stories.
I was 35 with 2 beautiful children when my life and addiction started to spiral out of control. After my divorce, I went into a depression cycle and started drinking more often and using prescription drugs. After my second DWI and arrest, my ex-husband threatened to take our children away from me.
I was 17 when I became addicted to heroin and meth. I thought I could quit on my own, but I couldn't. It hit me when I was arrested.
Get sober now. Your private insurance may cover costs and we'll get you here. It's simple. Just call Elite Rehab Placement right now. Please, don't wait. Your life matters to us. 800-213-9264. 800-213-9264. 800-213-9264. Call right now before it's too late. 800-213-9264.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with the Liberty Beat for Tuesday, March 5th, 2019. Gold opened the day at $1,287. Silver opened at $15.09. And Bitcoin is trading around $3,830. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a U.S. Saudi dual citizen faced prolonged torture while imprisoned in Riyadh's notorious Ritz-Carlton hotel and has since been visited by U.S. diplomatic staff. That's according to the White House. The Mind Unleashed reports that Walid Fidahi, a 54-year-old Harvard-trained physician, was among around 200 prominent Saudis who were held captive in the luxury hotel amid a major purge of the royal family ostensibly carried out in November 2017, amid an anti-corruption drive by Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Many faced severe torture and even death. Those who survived the torture were forced to sign over their fortunes to the prince as a condition of their release. Fidahi, who has been in detention since the infamous purge began, was allegedly slapped, blindfolded, stripped to his underwear, and bound to a chair before being tortured with electric shocks in an hour-long session. That's according to a friend who spoke with the New York Times. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% off your purchase by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the Liberty Beat for Tuesday, March 5th, 2019. Your news now continues. The Chief of Staff to Democratic Socialist Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez reportedly funneled more than $1 million in political donations from 2 political action committees that he founded into 2 of his own private companies. That's according to a report from the Washington Examiner, which cites a Monday complaint filed with the Federal Election Commission. The Mind Unleashed reports that according to campaign finance attorneys, the arrangement is really weird and an indication that there's something amiss, noting that since there's no way to know where the political donations went, they could have been pocketed or used to pay for off-the-books campaign operations. While PACs are required by law to disclose how funds are used, the private companies are exempt from such reporting. The FEC complaint demands that the 2 PACs be audited because they were allegedly engaged in an elaborate scheme to avoid proper disclosure of campaign expenditures. Corey Jackson, a preteen rapper who goes by the name of Lil C-Note, became famous in 2017 after he appeared on the Ellen DeGeneres Show and traveled to different cities to donate his earnings in the form of toys to underprivileged children. Fast forward to 2018, and those same entrepreneurial skills, which he received praise for on Ellen, made him the target of the Georgia police state. In October of last year, Jackson was in the food court at the Cumberland Mall in Cobb County when a Georgia cop physically assaulted him and threatened him with arrest. His alleged crime was selling copies of his records to willing customers. The Free Thought Project reports that although Jackson was accused of selling his CDs in the mall, he and his attorneys deny it, and even if the aspiring young rapper was selling them, the subsequent arrest and charges were hardly appropriate for a child. Jackson is 12 years old. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat for Tuesday, March 5th, 2019. Reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A fully leveled up video game character marvels at how far he's come, and the milk rushing through a jug handle is having the time of its life. This is the Onion Week in Review. This week, top executives from the U.S. financial sector announced they're about ready to ruin the world again. Representatives from all major banking and investment institutions said that more than enough time has passed since they last caused a major global economic meltdown, and confirmed they're pretty much fully prepared to bring about a brand new worldwide financial crisis.
We feel like we've given people enough time to get comfortable again. Consumer spending has increased. Housing market has rebounded. So yeah, we're all set to go ahead and ruin the global economy again.
And in other news, the perfect gift for a local man is unfortunately a gift certificate to Lowe's Cinemas. Mall shoppers look on in awe as a helpless 15-year-old girl is viciously torn apart by a pack of her peers. And a drunk pilot decides to pull over onto a cloud until he sobers up. You will now hear 3 gong strikes and a recitation of the great chant before being ushered to the hallowed garden. For more, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Coming up, Operation Choke Point. We're going to get a little deeper into that. We had a caller about it over the weekend, I think it was. And he brought up one of the videos that you produced, Laurel, on your channel on YouTube, which is what?
It's YouTube/C/Laurel's channel, but you can also go and do in the search in YouTube, Laurel Immigration. And
that brings you right up? You're the first result?
Right.
Okay, good. All right, so check her out there. You can subscribe over on her channel. And, of course, you can also subscribe to our new Free Talk Live video clips that are also on YouTube. You can go to clips.freetalklive.com. It'll take you right to that channel, and you can hit the subscribe button there, which allows you to share some of the moments that our video editor, Eric Freerock, has selected as some of the ones he thinks are the most interesting and shareable. So you can share those out. It makes it a lot easier to share Free Talk Live instead of, say, sharing an entire 3-hour or 2-hour-long show. This, you can just share the part that you liked. And it's video. People like that these days on the internet.
Those kids these days, they like that video.
Clips.freetalklive.com. Let's see. Johnson, speaking of video and movies and such, we were talking about Captain Marvel. The folks over at Wired, somebody wrote up an article about this controversy surrounding the comments section on Rotten Tomatoes. And maybe there's more to the story than that. I don't know how much we've even gotten in here. But they shut down the comments on movies that have yet to release because of just the toxic atmosphere that has been created in these comment sections by people trolling movies they don't like, even though they've never actually seen the film. So they don't like the actress, or they don't like the director, or whatever it is that they don't like.
It comes down to, I guess, Brie Larson had said something in the past about talking about movie reviews, actually, ironically, and in general, talking about movie reviews, and saying something about not wanting to hear from another white man.
Wow, isn't she a white lady?
Yeah, but the idea was that the critics and a lot of movie critics in general tend to be white males, apparently. That's just an observation.
There's a lot of white men in this country.
Sure.
How about that?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, so yeah, and so apparently,
have you ever seen the channel called Double Toasted on YouTube?
I have not.
It's a couple of black guys that do movie reviews, and they are hilarious. They got really great rapport together. I think you'd probably enjoy it. They review a lot of the movies that you and I would be likely to go and see.
Right.
And they do like really long like discussions, like half-hour long reviews. They'll do a movie trailer review that's a half-hour long. Just dig into it and play clips and talk about it. They're really really good. I enjoy their stuff. Double Toasted.
I'll have to check that out. Oh, I never also, before we get completely back into talking about this, I talked to you guys off air about it, but I had sold it on air talking about this M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, the trilogy that you really enjoyed.
Yeah. So
and you've seen all three,
right? Yes, I saw the most recent one in theaters. It was fantastic.
So Unbreakable,
which surprised me because I finally kind of feel like I'm getting what M. Night Shyamalan's trying to convey with his movies in general, and it just. The last one was very good, and clearly I think there's going to be more movies in this series, but so it went from Unbreakable to another movie called Split, which is about a guy who has 23 individual personalities, possibly more, and James McAvoy really knocks it out of the park with the acting in this, where this
is the guy with the 23 personalities.
Yeah, he's changing, and he's been in a lot of other movies as well, but he changes personalities in this movie very well.
23 times.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just he's going back and forth between different ones. Some of them are more prevalent than other personalities. They call it, being in the light is the personality who's at the forefront at the time. And so he does this, as he's acting, which of course an actor should be able to do something like this, but just changes personalities and becomes this entirely different character. But I mean, he does it in a way it's
convincing,
very convincing. Just personalities, demeanor, cool. Facial expressions, tics, the whole 9 yards for any actor, and he does it very quickly and makes these changes that are pretty good.
Neat.
Yeah, and then it goes on to Glass, which is about the characters from Unbreakable and Split, and
so it ties the other two movies together, basically.
Yeah, and it's just very good.
Neat. Thanks for sharing that.
So, Captain Marvel. So this goes on here to say, will Rotten Tomatoes changes come in time to save the Captain Marvel from the trolls? As though
it's not
somehow
in danger.
The trolls are going to endanger this
trolling
multi-million or billion-dollar, I think, movie.
And I find it hard to believe that trolling is new on Rotten Tomatoes.
No,
it's just been excessive for this particular movie. She said something very racist and sexist, and now is very shocked when people do the same thing.
Did she say something racist?
She said she didn't want to hear from white men.
Well, that's not racist.
She identified them by race. It was because of their race and their sex that she didn't want to listen from them.
Unless you're saying,
that's just a preference.
Unless you're saying that it can't be racist because, of course, it's not systemic. Because you can't be racist against white people because, white people control everything. So therefore, you can't be racist against them.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that being a racist is generally somebody who looks down on other races.
Is that not what she did?
That's not what racism is, according to, if you're on the left, you have to understand that racism is, in fact, can only be against minorities. If you're in control,
that's not the definition
if you're in control of a society, then no one can be racist against you, no matter how much they hate you.
Yeah,
and no matter what they do to you.
You can define a thing however you want, but the actual definition of racism is it has to do with looking down upon another person because of the group that they're in and believing that group is inferior because of their race.
That's exactly what she was doing.
I think that
racism... she's saying she doesn't want to hear from white men.
I think the implication is that there's something bad about the white men.
You're jumping to a conclusion there. I mean, it's a fair conclusion to jump to, I think, but she didn't say she thinks that white people are inherently, and specifically she said men, so, again, that doesn't have anything to do with racism,
I will
that's
say,
gender.
She clarified that she was not attempting to be racist, but that she wanted more variety in reviews, essentially is what she was saying. That there wasn't enough variety.
Okay.
But who knows how accurate that defense is.
And how long after she said it did she...
Look, just because I'm saying she's not a racist doesn't mean I'm defending what she was saying. I think that what she was saying is...
I want to challenge your definition of racism and ask you this. So you're saying, an inferior, but what if you were to take that and flip it around and say that racism is any person who believes in the superiority?
Yes, generally it is that one race is superior to another, yes. So there are racists out there who will admit that they believe, because they want you to believe that they're consistent. They will say that, Asians are smarter than white people.
I was about to say, what if it's a racist, who believes in another race's superiority, not even their own?
That is racism.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, okay. Moving on.
Yeah.
So, again, it goes on to say some of the damage has already been done.
And by the way, before you move on, since we're talking about racists, on 10 days from now, it will be not this Friday, but the following Friday, there's going to be the Crying Nazi versus the Anarchist She-Male. It's going to be on LRN.FM's Twitch channel. It's actually going to be broadcast originally on Aria's channel, but we're gonna do like one of the auto host things. So if you're on our Twitch channel, you'll be able to watch. Because the night that you and I had that show with Chris Cantwell, Aria got in for a short segment basically and was able to go at Chris. And I know she wanted to have more time, and so I guess she talked to Chris, and they're willing to do a one-on-one here in the LRN studio. So mark your calendar for, it's going to be after Free Talk Live, so 10 p.m. at night Eastern Time on March 15th. You'll be able to watch She-Male versus Nazi.
Get some popcorn.
Yeah, and we don't know if the thing's even going to make it through before somebody reports it and Twitch shuts down her Twitch channel, because she says she's not going to censor Chris. So that should be interesting to time it and see how long it goes before
Isn't
they
that
get
what
pulled.
Twitch is for, though?
For censorship?
For stuff like what you're describing?
No, they have anti-racism.
Specifically in Twitch's terms of service that racism.
Yeah, there's no racism allowed on Twitch.
Yeah.
So it'll likely get pulled, but we'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah.
Okay, so this Rotten Tomatoes Marvel deal. They're talking about some of the damage has already been done. But
what damage? I think, as Laurel pointed out, this is controversy. It's getting people to talk about the movie, and that's going to get people to want to see the movie. Because I would not have known Captain Marvel was coming out at all if this hadn't happened. I would have had no idea. The toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE. Is there more? Because we can get there coming up here. On Captain Marvel, you want to weigh in on this, you're welcome to join us here on the radio and our Discord server, discord.lrn.fm.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dynovite.com.
With just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dynovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dynovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dynovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Go to themorganreport.com and receive updates and insights you will not find anywhere else on the web. You will discover how to grow and protect your wealth under all market conditions. The free Morgan Report provides interviews, webinars, question and answer sessions, plus mind-blowing videos. As David Morgan says, let my passion create your wealth. TheMorganReport.com. TheMorganReport.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for lrn.fm in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to lrn.fm. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want here. Take control of the airwaves at 855 450 free. The controversy over Captain Marvel, and some people are mad because the actress said some things and has opinions that they don't like. Well, guess what? It turns out if you talk to most of these actors and actresses, there's probably a bunch of people in Hollywood that have opinions that you don't like.
You know what? That's fine. Let her have opinions, but then other people have opinions too. So she gets to say it, they get to say it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we're going to continue with the discussion here in a moment, but also, I do want to make sure that you know about Liberty.menu if you're an individual who rejects the initiation of force and agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Liberty.menu is the site for you. It's at its core a directory for events, businesses, and digital content. So if you're a liberty-oriented creator, whatever it is that you do, you should put it up on Liberty.menu, and you might get a little bit more business, perhaps. More attendees at your conference, or more viewers on your YouTube channel, or whatever it is that you create. Liberty.menu. Use code FTL. You'll get a special Free Talk Live listener badge. We can't give you a discount because it's free to put your stuff up there and get on the map at Liberty.menu. As we continue here, let's go to the phones and to your calls and thoughts. E. Greg is on a line on our Discord server. Go ahead, E. Greg.
Hey, everybody. Do you mind if I change the topic a little bit?
Go right
to
ahead.
Environmentalism.
All right.
All right. I think I'm a conservative in the sense that I would like to conserve the environment and the good things that we've been having until now. But I think I can make a very strong capitalist argument towards carbon tax. And that argument is actually made by the Chicago School of Economics after Milton Friedman. And it goes like this. Basically, pollution shouldn't be free. Pollution is theft. Okay, you are basically stealing things that were previously available to me: clean air, clean water. And you're dumping, and that's a cost you impose on me, a third party, and I should be compensated for that. What do you guys think of that, first of all?
Well, I mean, especially if you're the owner of a waterway and somebody is polluting it, you absolutely are being damaged in that case. And I think that's an interesting perspective.
So I don't know whether I can say I own the air that I breathe, but I'm certainly homesteading it. I'm using it.
Well, It's a commons. I mean, this is all from Tragedy of the Commons. Adam Smith talked about it. The environment is an entire commons, and in order to protect it, it has to be brought into the market. So what you're talking about is bringing it into a market mechanism for protecting it.
Right. And right now,
I don't know if that's what he's talking about. We're going to find out what he's talking about. But go ahead.
Right. Well, I guess I can adopt that language, and then I'll just say that
because if there's a tax, it's not the market. Okay, if there's a tax, that's the government. So taxes are threatened with violence backing them, whereas market action is generally not threatened with violence backing it.
It would be a combination of the two, because you're using a market mechanism, but it's imposed by the government because the environment can't impose it.
Well, what is this market mechanism that you're speaking of?
Cap and trade.
Yep, exactly.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
It means that
put a hat on and go to a flea market?
Like the coal power plants would have an allotment of a certain number of carbon emissions they're allowed to have. And so they can either invest in technology to reduce their own carbon emissions, or they can purchase carbon emission allotments from another coal plant, so that the other coal plant
Who decides who gets what allotments?
The government.
Oh, so a central
the market.
committee.
No, actually, that's not true.
Well, the government's imposing it.
Right. So basically what happens is you may not know the amount or the price that you should put. So that price discovery happens like this. The government may have a tax and it says, okay, this is the price. But the question is then how do you allocate things? And that's the market. So the market still is used as a tool to allocate carbon credits exactly to where they would be most useful and cheap and desirable. So you shift things around and the market allocates exactly to the most efficient way that we can. But you put a cost on that negative externality, on that resource that you're polluting. And I think that cost we all share in that, we should be compensated for that.
What is the proof that, I don't know if I necessarily buy the idea that carbon's a bad thing. Isn't it true that that's what plants crave?
Well, we're not a plant. We expel carbon.
Right. So therefore you're helping the forests. Well,
I mean, if plants are the ultimate beneficiaries that you want them to survive and us
weren't
to die
people
out,
worried about cutting down the Amazon rainforest many years ago?
They're still worried. The Amazon rainforest is 20% of all the world's oxygen comes from
it. Right. So wouldn't we want to help the trees?
But there's only so much that the trees and the plants can take in at a certain time.
Okay. Plant more trees.
Great.
Well, plant more trees is great, but we would have to plant as much as the United States has land mass at this point.
So otherwise things are going to get hotter. Is that the theory?
I'm not worried about temperature as much. I think the problem with this discourse and public discourse is that people are too focused on temperature and rising sea levels.
Well,
honestly,
what's the consequence? If there's not enough vegetation and trees to benefit from all the carbon that's being emitted, then what happens?
Carbon is just one example. There's also sulfur in the coal power plants, which create acid rain, and those will actually destroy the plants. There's more than one type of pollution. It's not just carbon.
Exactly. There's methane. I just want to say about carbon, because you asked about carbon. Try going into a stuffy room with closed windows and just sit there for a while, maybe a couple of days, and see yourself what the consequences are to humans of carbon.
It's pretty much what we do all wintertime up here.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I think Ian does that already.
Well, it would be basically all year round everywhere on the earth. So basically right now the carbon concentration was 390 ppm, and in the last 10 years it went up to 411 ppm. So it's rising quickly, and it's dwarfed by the amount of carbon in the oceans, which is causing the pH level to essentially drop, and the fish can't adapt to that very easily. And so we get sort of this weird imbalance now, and it's certainly measurable. It's not a hoax. You can measure it yourself by going around the world and measuring it.
Okay.
So it is systemic. It is something that is not sustainable. And I'm saying, from even the point of view of initiating an offensive measure, I think our children deserve someone to fight on their behalf.
Fight how? See, this is the issue. We can a lot of people agree that this is occurring. We disagree on what's going to happen in 10, 20 years, but most of all, we disagree on what to do about it. Because I certainly don't want to adopt Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's $93 trillion suggestion, which is just not going to work.
Neither do I. But I do want to adopt a bipartisan bill that was proposed in November 2018. It's called the Carbon Tax and Dividend. And Andrew Yang, a presidential candidate, endorsed this. Actually, it's one of his platforms. And I hope Bernie endorses it. But really all it is it actually aligns the incentives properly. It puts finally a cost on the carbon at the point of emission. And I can get into why that's important, the point of emission versus the point of extraction from the earth.
Well, here, before you go on, let's look at this, though, because there's other things going on in the free market right now that haven't required government intervention. And a lot of those are going on over at Tesla, where he's creating some solar panels for roofs and cars, etc. The market is already on it. The market is dealing with this if we just give it a little more time, because there is a demand for these products.
I tend to agree that if that is what people want, and I think most people do want clean air and, nice forests, that the market can handle it the best rather than the state. More coming up.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Hi, I'm Dan Pilla. I started fighting the IRS over 40 years ago when they tried to seize my mother's house. I sued the IRS and won. I beat the IRS then, and I've been beating them ever since. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I've helped thousands of people deal with tax problems they thought might never be solved. I can help you too. If you owe taxes you can't pay, don't wait another day. There's no such thing as a hopeless tax case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com, danpilla.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us here on the radio. You can bring up anything you want. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733 with you tonight. It's Ian.
I'm Laurel.
And I'm Johnson.
And also, don't forget to check us out online over at freetalklive.com. We've got some social media options for you. Where you can follow Free Talk Live's posts. It'll include like the things that we talk about on the air, so our show prep in many cases, and also the new Free Talk Live video clips are shared out on our social media, including our Twitter at twitter.freetalklive.com. We're also on the decentralized alternative to Twitter, which I like better, called Mastodon. You can go to Toot, T-O-O-T, toot.freetalklive.com to find our Mastodon channel. And there's also our Telegram channel as well over at telegram.freetalklive.com. So whichever one of those you prefer, you can follow us there. And we sure would appreciate it. As we continue with your calls and thoughts, we go to David in San Francisco. David, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been facing off against this issue about pollution and whose responsibility it is to clean it up. For years. I'm closing in on 60 years old and watched, nuclear power plants get away with murder, watched lead companies get away with murder, mining companies, poisoning the shorelines, just so many different issues. And they always have this excuse that the poor corporation has the right to make a buck, but it's unfair to make them clean up after themselves. So, what's conservative about that?
I'm not sure what that has anything to do with conservatism. I mean, that's just straight up protectionism. Good example, of course, would be the BP oil spill out in the Gulf of Mexico, where it was the government who protected them from liability for that, up to, I think the amount was, the number that sticks in my head was $75 million. So meaning BP had to pay that much in cleanup, and then the taxpayers footed the rest of the bill, which was quite a bit more. Yeah. So that's just protectionism. That has nothing to do with conservative or liberal. That's just the people in government protecting their buddies in the oil business.
Right, and at the time, these contracts, if I remember right, they were able to declare it not a national crisis but a regional crisis, and so they weren't able to bump up. If I remember right, it was like Louisiana had a top dollar price, the tort reform that said that you couldn't sue them for more than some high number, and that was the reason why they couldn't take it to the actual number. And it's the biggest phony con artist crap that passes for reality. You were talking about the rainforests, before. Those are the lungs of the earth. Mm-hmm. The oceans are to some degrees the arteries of the earth. The rivers are the blood system of the earth. And every part of the earth is a different ecosystem. It has different needs and different requirements. I'm reminded a little over 100 years ago, say like before the Civil War, more like 150 years ago, the Mississippi River was so clogged with trees that it took like a battering ram ship to clear the log jam that ran from Memphis all the way down to, into the Gulf of Mexico. And it took this early steamboat, it just chopped and burned and chopped and burned and chopped and burned until they had a channel up the Mississippi River. Okay. But it was basically 1 million years worth of log jam in the lower Mississippi. Well, that had all sorts of life forms in it. You could basically walk across the Mississippi River in the trees and in the log jam. And so all these fish were being spawned underneath it. Well, nowadays, out here in California, the salmon have to have shady rivers to spawn. And the reason why we don't have salmon like we used to is because all of the rivers are cut back to such a degree that there's basically no shade on the river, much less that there are logs that are clean across it, that there
you can farm fish, right?
Yeah, but wild-caught salmon are better for you.
Is that right?
Yeah, much less the earth has its own ecosystem. And the idea that somebody is going to make a buck chopping that up, but they're not going to do anything to resolve the loss. And the loss comes into, you've got, nowadays with global warming, you've got fire ants are making their way north.
Well, okay, let me throw this in there. I think whenever possible, one should allow the market to work, and if government does anything, it's to make sure the market works. For example, if people are injured by what a power company is doing, they should be able to sue the power company for an act of aggression against them so that they can be stopped. And when you see that there are market mechanisms out there that are beginning to deal with the carbon emissions and doing it in a very optimistic way, that should be allowed to work. Now, there may be times when there's nothing in sight and there's no obvious way for the market to handle the situation. And maybe some of those times there should be some limited government intervention, but we shouldn't automatically presume every single time that more government intervention is the solution. This is what we need to do. This is going to solve all of our problems.
The government's one of the worst polluters known to man. Yeah. So, I mean, the idea that you would even want them to get involved in the environment, it means you're going to be limiting the amount of damage they do. I would say they need to step the heck away from the entire thing and let private property owners protect their private property, because it's in their best interest to retain the value of that property in case they want to sell it down the line. A lot of these waterways that you're talking about, that you referenced, David, are not owned by anybody. They are, as you defined earlier, the commons, which means the government takes care of it, which means nobody really cares that much about it.
Well, we, the people, are the people that are supposed to be the eyes and ears of our property. And when you're talking about the government being a polluter, the government is the one that gives the rights to a company to pollute. And what's worst about that is that the military, in developing weapons, creates a top secret right to pollute. And so they don't even have to tell us when they're poisoning us.
Oh, yeah, the military is the worst polluter in the government. There's no doubt about that.
I don't know that governments. I don't know that governments give businesses the right to pollute. I think
they do.
They do.
I think businesses have the right to operate.
No, the government actually will rent its property out. They will lease its property out to business owners who then clear cut and destroy that property. It's absolutely the case. That's basically the purpose of the lease of the property.
They may lease the property, but they don't give. I think businesses have a right to operate. It's not a right that's given by the government. I think the right exists, and the government may or may not recognize it.
Well, your logic is right. It's just that Richard Nixon created the EPA, and Justice Gorsuch's mother was the first director of the EPA, and they basically set it up so that it's the government gives the right to pollute, or the option of pollution, or the...
Well, the whole point of corporations is to protect people from liability, to protect the politically connected and the wealthy from liability, which is what, again, both Republicans and Democrats have been allowing to happen for years. It is no way as much of a partisan issue as they want you to think that it is. David, thanks for the call. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. Sarah is in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Yes, I just want to say...
Sarah, were you on the Rush Limbaugh show today?
No, I haven't figured out. I never listened to his show, even though it's supposed to be funny.
One of our listeners said they thought they heard you today on the Rush Limbaugh show, so I figured I'd ask.
No, I haven't. I don't. It's a lot of work just dealing with you guys. You know what I mean?
But somebody's got to do it. So
well, you can actually get through on this show. You can't get through on the Rush Limbaugh show.
Oh yeah, he puts you on hold for 3 hours and then talk over you and hang up on you.
So you
right
have
away?
tried? You have tried to call the Limbaugh show?
Oh no, I never did.
Okay.
I don't
so you're
know
presuming
how to do that,
you would be placed on. I think she's probably right that likely you'd be, if you could get through, you'd be placed on hold.
She said he puts me.
Hang on, Sarah. We'll bring you back. I know you were calling about something. 855-450-FREE. That's 855.
Sarah might be trying to dupe us.
855-450-3733.
Maybe her name isn't even really Sarah.
33. Maybe not. This is Free Talk Live. More coming up.
Conspiracy. Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy two, get one free.
At Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
We pledge allegiance to one flag, and that flag is the American flag.
Did you know the official national American flag has never been manufactured for retail stores? The one that Americans fought and died for. The one symbol that represents our Constitution. Now you can be a part of this great movement that's never been seen before. Together, we'll recapture America. Call 1-877-383-4777 or visit theofficialflag.com. Theofficialflag.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And with you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
I'm Laurel.
And I'm Johnson.
Right now in the Discord chat room, E. Greg is going up against Gene the Christian Anarchist. E. Greg, of course, was the guy that was just on the line with us, who is... let's just say he wants to get the government at some level involved with the environment, and Gene the Christian Anarchist is completely against that. Gene does not believe any of the global warming, global climate change fear-mongering out there, and so the two of them are having at it right now in the On Air Now channel. If you want to jump in and join the discussion, you can. Just go to discord.lrn.fm. And you can do it without the Discord app. They do have a web version of it, so you can try it out there. But I do recommend the Discord app. It's a nice app. It works well, and it's free. Discord.lrn.fm. We go back to Sarah on the line in New Mexico. Sarah, what were you calling about tonight?
Well, yes, Albuquerque, our city, is going to reduce the speed limit downtown to 20 miles per hour.
Oh, wow. From what? What is it right now?
30? She said reduce it by 10.
Maybe 30.
Oh, I didn't hear
I don't
that
know.
part.
I have no idea what it was, but it might be 30 or 35 different areas.
Uh-huh.
But it's way, way lower. We're looking at maybe 5-mile radius by another 5-mile radius, 5-mile square radius for 5 or 8 miles. No, like.
And so this is you're excited about this, right? Like you want cars to not go fast.
20 miles an hour is like a parking lot.
Well, yeah. Well, but the thing is that to me, it's a big deal. I really like it because downtown is a lot of tourists are there, a lot of places to eat. A lot of visitors and a lot of people, like families, come down, and it's supposed to be a safer place for pedestrians and bicyclists. So it's a big deal to me. And
how much downtown is there in Albuquerque? How big is Albuquerque? Is downtown like 3 blocks?
No, it's not a small city. I mean, Albuquerque is a decent-sized metro.
Sarah would know. How big is Albuquerque?
Well, the Albuquerque downtown, I would say it's about like 5 miles by 5 miles by 5 miles, 5 mile square radius, about
It's
that
a decent
much.
size.
But what's the population?
Population
Like,
almost 560,000.
Yeah, it's a pretty big city,
Yeah.
And to me, I believe in small increments. Just little. I believe in little by little, like I was telling
How about
you.
5 miles an hour? I mean, if 20 miles an hour is better than 35, what about 5 miles an hour? Just make it so you can't even press the gas pedal.
Yeah, just don't have cars downtown. Just give everybody a bicycle.
Well, I have no idea, how far it's going to go, but one step at a time.
But you'd be all right with
this
that.
is just.
I mean, you would be okay with a total ban of all cars in downtown Albuquerque, right?
Well, if they provide buses
Mhm.
and if they have other means, I mean.
So yes, you are okay with that.
Me.
Yeah. Will you change your mind
But
once the first bus
don't
hits
own
the
a
first
car.
pedestrian?
The thing is, what did you say?
I said, would you change your mind? Meaning, would you also want to ban the buses if a bus hits a pedestrian?
Well, they have hit plenty of pedestrians already. The buses.
Well, why don't
ran
you want to
over
take the
red
buses
lights.
off the streets then?
Well, I mean, but you got to deal with. I have to live. I got to write something.
See, it is about you. This is all about you, isn't it? You ride the bus, so therefore it's okay. The buses can stay on the streets, but all those people in cars, they need to get off the streets and get on the bus. Which, of course, as you've already admitted, buses also hit pedestrians, which is your purported claim about why you don't want cars on the streets in the first place.
Well, the thing is, the buses have accountability. They got cameras.
But the cars don't?
In front of them. They got 12 cameras. They monitor driver behavior. They caught them having sex with a prostitute on the bus.
So
Yeah,
I guess the
they
cameras
catch them
don't
being
work
beaten
because
while
it's not deterring the behavior.
Well, I mean, they're monitored. If you run, they
That
will
doesn't
find-
make
they
a
got-
difference. The reason, look, nobody wants to run into pedestrians, okay? There's very few people that actually want to purposely, I mean, every now and then it happens. There was that incel guy who stole a van up in Toronto, or rented a van and then ran it down a street and ran into 12 people. So, I mean, every now and then there's a psychopath, but
cameras wouldn't stop that.
Right, that cameras wouldn't stop that. And further, people, again, don't want to run into others, so 99.9% of the time, it's an accident. Somebody wasn't looking, or somebody fell out in front of the car, or fell out in front of the bus. A drunk person, for instance, walking on the sidewalk, falls into the road. There's not enough time to stop. And as we've seen from those statistics, that tends to be what, it's actually drunk people that tend to get hit by cars more often than people who are sober. And so basically, this is not an intention of the person behind the wheel. So accountability doesn't matter. It's not like you can. Yeah, some people can drive more carefully, like if they're not texting or changing the radio station or yelling at somebody in the back seat. But again, having a camera or not having a camera in a car or a bus will not affect the the likelihood of having an accident involving a pedestrian. So basically, this is just about your personal preferences and forcing them on everyone.
Well, and then I I believe that one small increment, it's like the cigarette tax. You raise it $1.
You say increments toward what, though? Because usually when people say, let's do this in increments, they have a goal. What's your goal here?
Small increments. So we got cigarette tax is $3.60 now, and then next year we're going to
Okay, but what's your goal with it's increments with the cars? What's your goal? Like,
the thing is, 20 miles per hour. It's a good start. It's a whole attitude.
Start toward what?
About slowing down. So then the people would have the idea that they need to maintain the speed limit instead of always going 10 miles over the
But you say it's a start. So what's the finish?
It's an ongoing progress.
Progress toward?
Towards better driving, of having pedestrian and bicyclists being important instead of just getting...
so right now they're not important.
They have their own lanes. They have bicycle lanes.
Is your goal no fatalities whatsoever involving motor vehicles?
Well, I really believe that would be nice, but that's like living
utopia.
in heaven. As long as as long as I'm living on planet Earth, we're going to always have human error.
That's a very realistic answer on your part, Sarah.
What did you say?
I said that's a very reasonable and realistic answer that, it's impossible to eliminate all accidents and all deaths on the roads, as you've already admitted.
As long as we're on planet Earth. You can say that about if we're on the other side, like spirit world, nobody dies over there.
Sure.
So there's no
How do you know?
But,
how do you know?
You're supposed to have an eternal life. There's no death. That's the benefit. But we're going to have death here, so people have to die from the flu, pneumonia, or something here, and obviously auto fatality and bicycle fatality, and that's part of the factor. But my goal is and people die from cigarettes, secondhand smoke.
They die from a lot of things. Everybody's going to die. Maybe the people who are pedestrians ought to be more careful around cars and not drink and walk near cars and
not that
fall
we're
into
hating
the road.
on drunk people. You can get drunk if you want to. Just don't jump in front of a car.
Yeah, don't fall in front of the road because you're so drunk. That's what's going on here, Sarah. That's the big problem.
Okay, what's more dangerous? If you're drunk driver,
do you want to ban alcohol while we're at it? Let's talk. Since we're talking about things to ban, why don't we bring back prohibition? Alcohol prohibition.
It's a start.
Well, it's a start, if they could implement that, that would be really great.
Yeah, because it worked really great the first time, right, Sarah? Did you ever take a class in history? Did you ever learn about alcohol prohibition?
Well, I was told that they tried it, but
what went wrong?
Did you know that?
What did they do wrong?
We saw the drive up.
Sarah, they tried pretty hard. They arrested a lot of people and destroyed a lot of businesses, destroyed lives. What did they do wrong? How did they screw it up?
Well, I don't know. We used to be number one in DWI. So we
I'll tell you what they did, Sarah. Thank you for the call tonight. What they did was they created prohibition in the first place. You can't win. It's impossible.
There's too much demand, so a black market sprung up and organized crime surrounded it, and things were so much worse.
Yeah, violence in the streets, between the gangs, shooting each other over territory, violence between the police and the speakeasies and the gangs, and people being arrested for no actual crime with a victim, just for buying and selling this liquid and transporting it. And it was an abject failure, and finally people realized that after some amount of time, and they repealed some of it. Unfortunately, we still have many of the vestiges of prohibition with us today, including government control over alcohol in every state of the union to some extent or another. Some states are worse than others on that. Sarah, thanks for the call tonight. We got more on the way here. Your calls and thoughts are welcome. Hour number 3 is coming up. We can talk about Choke Point, Operation Choke Point. We can talk about the movies, the Marvel controversy, although I don't know if we've pretty much finished that one. I think we probably have. And then also, if you want, we can talk about video games and loot boxes. Epic Games is being sued.
Hello. I am looking for a special soul from the GCN audience to hire to come to East Ridge, Tennessee and take care of 2 peaceful, easygoing people, which are a sweet 95-year-old woman and her 60-year-old son. Terms would be free room and board, plus the use of all of our facilities here at home, in exchange for living with us and seeing to our needs. We must have someone that fits in well. We get along with most anybody and value those who like to do the same. We live in a suburb of the scenic city of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Please email Matt at peaceaboveall.net for additional information. Please include your informal resume stating your strengths and weaknesses and reasons you would make a dedicated caregiver. We would also offer to negotiate a nominal salary in addition to everything else. Again, please email matt@peaceaboveall.net. Thanks for responding.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with the Liberty Beat for Tuesday, March 5th, 2019. Gold opened the day at $1,287. Silver opened at $15.09. And Bitcoin is trading around $3,830. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a U.S. Saudi dual citizen faced prolonged torture while imprisoned in Riyadh's notorious Ritz-Carlton hotel and has since been visited by U.S. diplomatic staff. That's according to the White House. The Mind Unleashed reports that Walid Fitahi, a 54-year-old Harvard-trained physician, was among around 200 prominent Saudis who were held captive in the luxury hotel amid a major purge of the royal family ostensibly carried out in November 2017, amid an anti-corruption drive by Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Many faced severe torture and even death. Those who survived the torture were forced to sign over their fortunes to the prince as a condition of their release. Fitahi, who has been in detention since the infamous purge began, was allegedly slapped, blindfolded, stripped to his underwear, and bound to a chair, before being tortured with electric shocks in an hour-long session. That's according to a friend who spoke with the New York Times. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% off your purchase by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the Liberty Beat for Tuesday, March 5th, 2019. Your news now continues. The Chief of Staff to Democratic Socialist Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez reportedly funneled more than $1 million in political donations from 2 political action committees that he founded into 2 of his own private companies. That's according to a report from the Washington Examiner, which cites a Monday complaint filed with the Federal Election Commission. The Mind Unleashed reports that according to campaign finance attorneys, the arrangement is really weird and an indication that there's something amiss, noting that since there's no way to know where the political donations went, they could have been pocketed or used to pay for off-the-books campaign operations. While PACs are required by law to disclose how funds are used, the private companies are exempt from such reporting. The FEC complaint demands that the two PACs be audited because they were allegedly engaged in an elaborate scheme to avoid proper disclosure of campaign expenditures. Corey Jackson, a preteen rapper who goes by the name of Lil C-Note, became famous in 2017 after he appeared on the Ellen DeGeneres Show and traveled to different cities to donate his earnings in the form of toys to underprivileged children. Fast forward to 2018, and those same entrepreneurial skills, which he received praise for on Ellen, made him the target of the Georgia police state. In October of last year, Jackson was in the food court at the Cumberland Mall in Cobb County when a Georgia cop physically assaulted him and threatened him with arrest. His alleged crime was selling copies of his records to willing customers. The Free Thought Project reports that although Jackson was accused of selling his CDs in the mall, he and his attorneys deny it. And even if the aspiring young rapper was selling them, the subsequent arrest and charges were hardly appropriate for a child. Jackson is 12 years old. Support for Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat for Tuesday, March 5th, 2019. Reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
It's the Onion Radio News. God loses his decision-making coin. This is Doyle Redland reporting. The Lord God has confirmed that he has misplaced his special decision-making coin. The coin, a relatively unremarkable 1972 nickel, has been used almost daily by the Supreme Being for over 4 billion years for the purpose of determining everything from the direction of the wind to the outcome of history. The visibly distraught God added,
I have no idea where I put it. I remember flipping it last night for a couple in Monroe, Michigan who were trying to conceive a child, but I haven't seen it since.
God also said he hopes to locate the coin before 7:15 Thursday morning when United Flight 251 takes off from Seattle with actress Dixie Carter on board. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial on in toll free. Bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm with you tonight. It's Ian.
I'm Laurel.
And I'm Johnson.
So we're going to get into this Operation Choke Point coming up here. Also, Epic Games has been sued over the llama loot boxes that are being called predatory. What is a llama loot box? Why are they predatory? Does it matter? Well, apparently a lot of people are playing these video games these days, especially kids, and they're spending their parents' money on these loot boxes. We'll tell you what that is all about coming up here in a little bit. Now, back to the phones and to your calls and thoughts. We got Bad Slave on the line. Hello, Bad Slave. You're on our Discord server.
Hi, Ian. Thanks for taking the call.
Yes, sir.
I am just completely incensed by the idea that that we need to work on some carbon footprint, which I think there's plenty of questions on both sides of the issue as to whether the actual cause and effect of supposed ice caps melting and what have you are actually due to the minuscule. I mean, they're talking parts per million of carbon in the atmosphere. Oxygen has 20%.
Well, my feeling on this is that the weathermen can't predict what the weather will be in a month.
They can't predict it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. And
we do know that some things are going on, and I'm not going to deny that some of the observable changes aren't happening. I think that they are. We just don't know what direction we're going in exactly. It could be a disastrous direction or not. Do we want to throw our entire economy away on maybe, but we don't know? So, I say proceed with caution and don't completely destroy our economy while we're figuring this out.
And one of the best ways to do that, Laurel, it would be to shrink the federal government, shrink the military expenditure, shrink the you think you can run around with these ships all over the 7 seas and not be dumping all kinds of carbon into the atmosphere? It's just ridiculous.
We had a military guy call in years ago to tell us that he actually has witnessed them just throwing stuff off the side of ships
for budget reasons.
For budgetary reasons, because they wanted to buy more stuff the next year.
They do that stuff all the time.
Right. Another military guy told us that in the I forget what division he was in, but it wasn't the Navy. It was Army or Marines or something like that. That they would just blast through ammunition so they could get more ammunition. They had to cycle through all this ammo, just for no reason whatsoever beyond budgetary. We want more. We need bigger budgets.
Exactly. The Constitution never authorized even a sliver of this.
The Constitution only, as I understand it, authorized a standing Navy, but it did not authorize a standing Army at all.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they have to pass every 2 years the
reauthorization.
Right. Yeah.
Right. The intention was that they were supposed to, if they wanted an army, they would have to bring it together for the purpose specifically of defense and going to war in that case. And they just decided they wanted to keep it all the time, which was against the intentions of the founding fathers.
And how many false flag operations have occurred in order to start these wars? I mean, the Lusitania, the big Kahuna and World War I, that was just ridiculous. The Germans tried to notify the Americans to not get on that ship because they're going to sink it, and they sunk it. And that the press was kept from that information. That there were articles written or I don't know exactly the nature of the articles or the ads that they put in, but the Germans tried to notify the Americans that that's what was going to happen if people got on that ship.
I hadn't heard that. I'll have to check that out later.
Well, there was also the Gulf of Tonkin that was a false flag that basically started started Vietnam, and then of course there was the McCulloch memo in World War II that essentially positioned the United States to get attacked by the Japanese. They essentially wanted to angle that to make that happen, so they'd have an excuse to get into the war.
And kept the Pacific Fleet from knowing about the attack because they actually had the intel that the prior to the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, not only did they want it to come, they knew that it would, and they did whatever they could to make it happen.
So we put up with all this kind of crap. This stuff is all recorded.
This is history.
And the fact is that these people think that that we need to tax the people more to screw them basically on this whole carbon footprint thing, and start with reducing the costs. Start with reducing what the federal government does.
Great proposal. Unfortunately, no Republican or Democrat is going to propose actually reducing the military. Unfortunately, it's just not even something that they can do politically.
Even just the cars driving around, doing so-called federal business within the country.
Sure, it's a lot.
How many
of
those could be, sold off. And,
sure, I see them on the road all the time with their U.S. government plates. Hey, thanks for the call, Bad Slave. Great call. Appreciate it. Good suggestion. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like Americans really care that much about, having, well, at the very least, the politicians don't care about reducing the size of the government. I mean, certainly there's individuals who do. There's a lot of people who are very concerned with the size of the government, but it's just those people don't make it to the level of politics, because usually those people are productive people, and they're people that actually, have careers, and they have jobs or businesses or whatever, things that they do that are actually important in the world, and they don't want to spend their time doing political action. I can't blame them at all for that, because it's a huge time waster. It's a huge just treadmill, basically.
Government is very, very wasteful.
Yeah, people who do get into it get frustrated. There's a guy in Keene, for instance. His name is Bob. He is kind of like the Dr. No of the city of Keene City Council. He is, I wouldn't call him a libertarian, but he's more freedom-friendly than the other city councilors are. And he worked hard to get elected to that position. He went door to door, knocked on doors, talked to voters who were both Republicans and who were undeclared. And he managed to turn what was a left-leaning ward in the city to vote for him.
Awesome.
So he displaced a individual who had been in that seat for quite a while, or had been in the council for quite a while, and was very, very popular. I didn't think that he had a chance of defeating him, but he did. And now he's frustrated, and he's not coming back.
Aw.
So yeah, he gave it 4 years, one term basically, and he's like, yeah, I'm not coming back. This is crazy. This is way too. I mean, you're the only guy, right, of 15 counselors, right, that's going to actually say no to things, essentially, for the most part. There's a couple of other exceptions on certain issues, but the dude's he's fed up. He got burned out. And so that's what the system does to people, is it burns them out, and it burns them out fast if they had good intentions. Now, if you're all about, making your buddies happy with sweetheart deals and punishing your enemies, if you're a total politician, then of course you're going to love the system, and you're going to love every little bit of power that you aggregate to yourself.
One of my associates who was a lefty said that one of the things that made her consider not being a lefty anymore was she worked for government for a little while in Texas and could not believe how many sweetheart deals the governor was giving to his buddies. And that all of their reporting...
And he was a lefty governor?
No, actually he was a Republican, so fair enough. But she was seeing how inefficient government was.
From the inside.
From the inside.
All right, and it doesn't make it any better whether it's Republicans or Democrats who are in charge of it. Unless you can actually cut it back, like Bad Slave was suggesting. But that's not happening at the federal government level. 855-450, free like freedom. You join us on the radio. This is Free Talk Live. Choke Point coming up.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses on the setup page, and then load the app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. AnyPay.global.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Go to themorganreport.com and receive updates and insights you will not find anywhere else on the web. You will discover how to grow and protect your wealth under all market conditions. The free Morgan Report provides interviews, webinars, question and answer sessions, plus mind-blowing videos. As David Morgan says, let my passion create your wealth. Themorganreport.com. Themorganreport.com.
According to locals waiting for a 66 bus in downtown Chicago last night, a young couple was making out in the passenger shelter like they were in Paris or something. Onlookers spoke to reporters about the pair, who carried on their passionate embrace for over 20 minutes, as if they were in some sort of goddamn candlelit bistro tucked away in Montmartre.
It's been almost a half an hour and they're still going at it. It's like they think they're sitting on a sun-dappled picnic blanket in the Tuileries Gardens. I mean, where the hell are we? The Champs-Élysées?
The pair's marathon makeout session, which took place in downtown Chicago and not, as frustrated onlookers emphasized, on a cobblestone street in the city of lights, featured intense gazing, deep tongue kissing, and other gestures of affection typically reserved for a couple strolling down the banks of the Seine River.
You know, for a second there, I honestly thought we had all been transported to Parc Monceau, drinking flutes of champagne on a wonderful summer afternoon while being serenaded by a Parisian accordion player. But no, we're at a bus stop in Chicago.
This is the Onion News Network.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, dial toll free to bring up what you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have the Discord on-air call-in line, rooms at discord.lrn.fm. And thank you to Chip, who is a Free Talk Live Gold Amplifier. AMP means Advertise, Market, and Promote. It is a program for listeners who actually want to help support Free Talk Live directly. I mean, it's great when you share the show. We certainly do appreciate that. We appreciate the fact that you're out there listening. And so thank you to everybody at whatever level of participation you have. But if you want to go above and beyond the Call of Duty, then please join the AMP program. It's $5 a month. And Chip is a gold amplifier, which means he's doing $10 a month. So thank you, Chip, for doing that. And you get some perks. You get some benefits as a result of being an amplifier. You can do it with, by the way, PayPal, credit card, and Bitcoin BTC. So go and get signed up over at amp.freetalklive.com. That's amp.freetalklive.com. As we continue here, it's Ian tonight.
I'm Laurel.
And I'm Johnson.
To the phones and your calls and thoughts here. And then coming up, we can talk about Operation Choke Point. David is in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, David.
Yeah, picking up where I left off, regarding legal strategy, where the last thing we said is you suggested that I could do some legal fighting when I got arrested a second time for calling a government agency asking questions that are pertinent and legitimate under law, and being told that I'm basically bothering them, and if I call them back to ask my questions again before a week from that date, as opposed to the next day to check status to find out if an attorney has yet been appointed, as it is mandated under a specific statute, that they would call the sheriff on me, which is I take as a threat, because on your program you cite the threat of men with guns and the damage they can do, even in the most benign law enforcement situation, like a traffic stop, taillight out. And so I take it as a threat, and I also allege that I'm acting in a lawful manner under my rights by law to call a government agency once a day to check a status of some action that they are prescribed by law to be mandated to take. And
so wait a minute, did you get arrested for calling back?
No, what I did is that's the legal strategy, and Laurel is welcome to comment on this if she wants to. what I did instead is I called the sheriff's department. I called the sheriff's office himself and talked to his assistant. I mean, he doesn't answer the phone. His assistant does, obviously, and then he either gets back to you or he doesn't. And I said to her, this was a Ms. Walsh, I believe it is. She needed to find the appropriate people and give me a call back, and we'll see whether they bother to call me back or not. I reminded her that the last time, 6 months earlier, when she said she'd get somebody to call me back, nobody ever did. Mm-hmm. But what I said to her is, here's the situation. This is a legal notice, and I need guidance from Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department, Manny Gonzalez, sheriff, or whoever he may designate, because a government worker named Monica Rodriguez in the Albuquerque Children's Court threatened me that she's going to use you, Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department, as a tool to attack me. She's alleging it's lawful, and I'm alleging it's unlawful. And so, Sheriff Manny Gonzalez, I want to know what you're going to do, and I want to get that. I want to get that casually on the phone, and then I want it in writing as to, here's what they're going to call you for, and what are you going to do, and they can respond, and then I will know, and then I can act accordingly, whether that means filing a federal lawsuit.
And have they responded? Has the sheriff responded?
As I said a moment ago, they have not yet responded. It's been 3 or 4 days, and so it's on my things to do to call them back and ask the question a second time. And like I said, and if they don't respond in an appropriate manner, in a timely fashion, then I'll inform them.
Have you considered going down there with a video camera?
I'm not sure what kind of response you're looking for from them.
Well, I just told you.
He wants them to say what they will do. He says that he's been told to not call back this bureaucrat. He's been calling a bureaucrat and asking questions. She doesn't like that he's asking her questions. She said, "Don't call me back or I'm calling the sheriff." And so you've gone to the sheriff's department and have now said, someone has threatened to use you against me. So they're threatening me, and I want to know what you're going to do about it.
Yeah,
right?
The police are under no obligation to tell you what's going to happen next.
Yeah, they're not obligated to do anything.
Obligation until I put them. You still there?
Right here.
Yeah, they're not under any obligation until I put them under one.
No, you can't. You can't put them under an obligation.
I can put them under an obligation if I summon you to court with a lawful summons in the form of a federal complaint that is backed up by the federal court. Then I can put them under an obligation.
Well, then they're obligated to go to court, but that's not an obligation to you.
Well, actually, it is, because I'm the petitioner in the case, and if I cause them to have their general counsel send a lawyer to the federal courthouse to answer in front of a federal judge, which are often friendly to cases like this in this jurisdiction, I have noticed.
Yeah, then he would be obligated in court to answer the questions. But
if they don't have it tossed out,
right? As far as
they're going to file a motion to dismiss first and foremost.
But he doesn't have an obligation to call you back or.
No, unfortunately, he doesn't. It would be nice if there was such an obligation. I thank you, David. I wish you the best with the strategy there. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Unfortunately, Laurel, you're correct. The Supreme Court has ruled again and again that the government at no levels, certainly the police, do not have any obligation. They have no obligation whatsoever to provide you with any level of service. They don't. They're not obligated to call you back.
They're not obligated to tell you what they are going to do in an instance that hasn't happened yet.
They have no obligations, period. They're not obligated to call you back. They're not obligated to show up when you call them. They're not obligated to solve a crime. They're not obligated to even try to solve a crime. They're not obligated to do anything for you. You have to pay their taxes that fund their organization, or else then they'll come and arrest you. But that's all they got to do is just arrest you if you don't pay. They're not going to do anything else. So, unfortunately, that's the mythology of the government, and a lot of people believe it because you see folks like George W. Bush or Barack Obama or Donald Trump behind a podium claiming that it's their job as president to protect the American people. There's this idea out there that the government is there to keep you safe, that the government is there to protect you, and the reality is it's not. And it never was.
I've had to explain this to lots of clients who want to make the government do something, and I have to explain, you are at their mercy. You have a case that's going on, and we're waiting for them to act. There is nothing we can do to make them act. You are at their mercy. You must wait.
Sure.
I've said that many times to clients.
It's tough. I mean, I wish that It would be nice if your tax money actually did obligate them to do something, but unfortunately it's just a total scam from top to bottom, and they've managed to pull the wool over people's eyes.
Yeah, the services I'm talking about are actually not paid for with taxpayer dollars. It's application fees, but same thing.
Sure. Well, you're still paying them, but they have no obligation.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a typical government system. So we've got this choke point, Operation Choke Point. You've been doing a lot of research on this.
I've been doing some research because some of my subscribers on YouTube wanted me to go ahead and look at it.
Now, Johnson, you haven't heard of the choke point?
No, I've not heard of this.
All right, so we're going to come back and talk about this.
Yep.
It has to do with a lot of the deplatforming.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Basically, government kind of created deplatforming efforts, essentially.
Yeah.
So,
sort of.
allegedly. We'll get into it here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want. And this is Free Talk Live.
Complement your health with hemp-derived cannabinoid oil. We've always believed that the closer to Earth, the better it is for our bodies. Our hemp-derived cannabinoid oil is phytocannabinoid rich, full spectrum, and organically grown. Finally, hemp made easy, clean, and effective. GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203. That's right, we cut through the red tape. It's now available at GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nesquik. Try Nesquik 4-packs, perfect for lunches and great for kids on the go. Look for it in the juice aisle. Snack time is a great chance to sneak extra calcium into your child's diet without making him feel like he's eating something he doesn't want. Serve up dairy-rich foods like smoothies, flavored milk, frozen yogurt, and string cheese. He'll love the treat, and you'll love knowing how good it is for him. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue,
Besides,
Washington.
we just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, and bring up whatever you want here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've also got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. In fact, that's where we're going to next. And also want to make sure you know how to subscribe to the Free Talk Live podcast over on our website. You just go to feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com, because there are more than one of them. There's the full podcast, which has the full archives of the show, plus the Daily Digest version, which is a much shorter version of Free Talk Live. And there's also a feed that just has the full show, and then there's a feed that just has the Daily Digest. So if you're time challenged, you don't have enough time to listen to a full 2-hour-long podcast every single day, maybe the Daily Digest is something you want to look at. So check it out over at feeds.freetalklive.com. Let's go to the phones to the Discord, where Ala Loca is on the line. Hello.
Hey there, is my internet sounding better today?
Sound great. Go ahead.
Yes, awesome. I wanted to counter Greg's claim because he wanted me to explain this all in Discord, and I'm like, this is too much. So I wrote all this down, so bear with me. I wanted to state, first off, air pollution is one of the problems that he stated, correct?
Yeah, he was talking about pollution, sure.
Okay. Phytoplankton produces 50 to 80% of the Earth's oxygen, and that's in the ocean. So the problem Greg was stating is that he wanted to leave it cleaner for the future generation. If it only takes 3 days for phytoplankton to reproduce, how long will it take for the Earth to start self-healing? Because I feel like he thinks that this is such a detrimental thing that it's going to take years to heal. But if phytoplankton only takes 3 days to heal, like, honestly, how long would it take for it to start going? That's just my thought.
No, wait, when you say healing, what do you mean? Do you mean like after like cars are banned or something, or what?
No, just healing from pollution.
So, but I mean, isn't that going on right now? Or are you saying that it can't heal because there's too much pollution? I'm not sure what you're saying.
No, I'm saying that his thoughts were that we're producing so much that the trees and other plant organisms cannot heal the Earth. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is that phytoplankton takes 3 days to reproduce, and if we were allowed to grow phytoplankton.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean allowed to grow it?
Well, that's my next point.
Okay.
Well, if we were allowed to seastead, which we are already doing now, 70% of the Earth is made up of water, of the Earth's ocean. So the reason why government doesn't want us, for example, seasteading, is because we're going to create so-called tax-free haven. We're going to, leave countries and create our own societies. And they don't want you doing that because, of course, they want you to pay taxes. And they also think that you're going to create waste in the ocean, which brings me to my other point. We wouldn't have such detrimental waste, example, plastic, if we, for example, had hemp. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar, but hemp grows really fast. Mm-hmm. It's a great substitute for plastic. It's used to build houses. It's used to build other things.
Before you go on, I want to come back to the phytoplankton thing because I'm not a scientist, so I don't know. Phytoplankton, thank you. I don't know a whole lot about it. How is it that human seasteading is going to increase the amount of phytoplankton?
Because if we start seasteading, we can actually start planting underneath. Start growing the phytoplankton.
So you're just saying the fact that people are out there means that they can encourage these things to grow?
Yeah, because I know right now for the seasteading movement, they're actually doing something very similar. I forgot what it was. I think it was with coral. And coral's another thing that produces oxygen. So if we can start doing coral and phytoplankton, then I don't see why this would be an issue.
So seasteading encourages the growth of phytoplankton?
It could.
It could, and with coral. Yes.
Okay.
So there's an interesting study that was done by an actual physical chemist, Dr. Peter J. Carson, who actually went and examined, did this examination and did the, the math, the chemistry kind of math using, it's like kind of a chemistry is like almost like somewhere between physics and like, advanced mathematics, where they have like variables and can do equations based on reactions of these different things. And this guy went and basically took the calculations for CO2 in the various atmospheres of different planets. So Earth, Mars, Venus, I think maybe Jupiter, a couple of different planets, and basically said if you account for pressure and distance from the sun, and you start eliminating the variables, right, and you do the equations for it, the greenhouse effect is nonsense. It's has absolutely no effect on an atmosphere. That atmospheric, anthropomorphic global warming is complete nonsense, and that the amount of CO2 is not what affects the heat of an atmosphere. That essentially it is the atmospheric pressure.
So is our pressure
the primary
going up, going down? Because we've been measuring.
It would not be changing, like because of the generation of CO2. It just that would not have an effect on the atmosphere.
So it may be changing, but it doesn't have anything to do with CO2.
Yeah, basically, this guy had come to a very well reasoned conclusion that anthropomorphic or anthropogenic.
Anthropomorphic is
not anthropomorphic.
Beasts that look human.
Hi, I'm your atmosphere. I'm getting really warm. No, anthropogenic global warming is a fiction.
And then sometimes people argue, but the consensus among scientists is, and of course the response to that is, science is not a democracy. The facts are the facts.
Right. Well, and science is a process to determine what is true over time, and it's constantly about challenging what is currently believed.
Right.
So, Ala Loca, more that you wanted to share?
Yeah, I wanted to counter his air pollution. For me, because I'm studying a lot about private property rights and laws, and I think that government is always going to continue to protect and punish those who are helping create solutions for air pollution, because they get paid by these factories. They make laws. One hand washes the other. This is how they work with the current government system that we have now. But in a libertarian society, these factories wouldn't have anyone to pay, because let's say each factory had their own private insurance, and we as a society, or me as an individual, have my own private insurance. And let's say the air pollution crossed over my private property lines. My insurance company, if I could prove that they were polluting my side of my private area, that I can have my insurance make a claim, a lawsuit against their company, and they can handle it through arbitration. Unlike the current government system that we have now, let's say we wanted to make laws and changes through a voluntary society, we could do that because we move a lot faster. We can make rules a lot faster and more efficient, unlike government that takes, how long does it take for a government to make one law go into action?
Right now, forever. Congress is very slow at the moment.
So, for me, I'm just saying, Greg, you can't fix a government problem with government solutions. You can't do that.
That's for sure. But that's what the government wants you to think. They really do benefit when people believe that, we just need the government to do this thing. And, of course, it's the government that started the problem or authorized the companies to create the problem in the first place, or refused to do anything to stop them. Ala Loca, thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate hearing from you there on our Discord server as we go and continue with Gene the Christian Anarchist, also on the Discord server. Go ahead, Gene.
Hey guys, also I'm going to talk about the global warming as well. I was on, like you mentioned earlier, I was chatting with Greg about global warming, and I went through the trouble, and I've mentioned this in the past, to actually run some numbers myself. I got tired of waiting for scientists to do everything. So what I did was I took all of the figures for known reserves for all of our fossil fuel reserves, not just what we're burning each year, but what we have for the next
in the United States or on the globe?
On the globe.
Okay.
And I said, let's burn it all up in a second and see how much CO2 that puts in the atmosphere. And those numbers, I put the link on the Discord.
All right, stand by. You'll have to give us a summary here in moments. More coming up here. Gene the Christian Anarchist on the line. He's in our Discord chat. If you want to talk to him, All you got to do is join the Discord server. Go to discord.lrn.fm. I'm not going to say he's in there every night, but it's darn close to it. Discord.lrn.fm. Jump on in there, and we'll continue in moments with Free Talk Live.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry MyPillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose.
And here's Mike's best offer ever. MyPillow is now offering 50% off their 4-pack special plus free shipping. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-951-5617 and use promo code FTL. That's 50% off plus free shipping. Don't delay. Order now.
February is Heart Month. Every year for the month of February, to show our appreciation to Extendivite's faithful customers, we have a sale. If you would like to try Extendivite, now is the time to get a few months ahead and really give Extendivite the time to show you how it works. Most of Extendivite's long-term customers wait for this sale to stock up. People and doctors tell us about the unbelievable improvements that they have experienced in their overall health, not just the heart. Extendivite wants you to experience the power of these herbs. Get a 4-month supply for only $115 for either the capsules or tincture. Please take advantage of this once-per-year sale and get healthy for life. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com or find us on Amazon.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll free, bring up whatever you want here. Even in these remaining moments, we have enough time for you. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms for you as well over at discord.lrn.fm. Been a pretty busy night on the phone, so I think we only had the chance to get to your show prep tonight, Johnson, so we never really even got to this choke point thing, which, I don't know, maybe we'll be able to say a few words on it, but we still got calls coming in. Number here, 855-450-FREE, like Free Talk Live, or like Freedom. As we continue with Gene the Christian Anarchist, he's still on the line on Discord. Go ahead, Gene.
Yeah, well, briefly, I ran the numbers, what it would take if how much CO2 we'd get if we burned up all of the known reserves that exist in the planet right now in just a matter of a second, and then how much CO2 would that add to the atmosphere, what percentage, and so on. Okay. Anyway, I ran those numbers, I put them on the internet, I posted a link on the Discord a couple of times now to the place where I posted it. I posted it on my website and also on minds.com. But anyway, when I run the numbers, it comes to less than 0.1% increase in atmospheric volume if you burned all of the fuel reserves, and that, if you added that to the atmosphere.
Less than 0.1%? Is that what you said?
Yes, and that's in 1 second. If you burned it all up in one. People don't realize the mass of the atmosphere. The atmosphere mass is huge, and the amount of fuel we're burning is minuscule. So I run those numbers. I've challenged people to look at them and see if I made a mistake, because I'm not a professional scientist. I don't do this for a living. But if a dummy like me can throw these numbers together and show that we're not making a big enough, a significant enough dent on this atmosphere to make a difference, then these scientists surely know it. They've got to know it. But anyway, I was chatting with E. Greg on the Discord, and he, of course, says that we're going to destroy the planet. So I gave him the link. I said, go here, spend some time on it, run the numbers, show me where I'm wrong. I'm challenging people to show me where I'm wrong with my numbers. They're right out there for
There's a chance you made a mistake, right? I mean, these are big numbers. There's a lot of fuel.
There's a chance.
You know,
there's a very real chance that I made a mistake, but I did plug it all into a spreadsheet, so I didn't trust my little pea brain to these numbers. I actually put all the values into a spreadsheet and then just had formulas to figure out the answer.
And didn't you say that he disappeared after you challenged him? Maybe he's busy reading the site.
Who knows? He might have to go take a shower or something. I don't know.
Could be. Could be. Hey, Gene, thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate it. Again, the Discord is open for anybody that wants to go and chat with folks like Alaloka and Gene and a bunch of our listeners in there. Some people who never call into the show, and that's okay because most people just listen. But if you want to get interactive with other listeners, it's a cool thing to do. Just go to discord.lrn.fm. Let's continue here. Jeremy's in Massachusetts. Jeremy, go ahead with your thoughts. You're watching on Twitch.
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's on your mind?
How are you?
What's on your mind tonight?
I don't know. I feel a lot of guilt, and I'm physically sick as well.
Sorry to hear that.
I don't know how to say it. Basically, I've been living with my girlfriend for about 2 months now, and she has these 2 beautiful dogs. But today, one of them got loose while she was away at work, and he got hit by a car.
Oh man, that's rough.
She gets home in an hour.
Did he get killed by the car or just, wounded?
No, he was still alive.
Oh man.
But I didn't want her to explain this. And
how did the dog get out?
I left the back door open.
Yep. Okay.
I don't know how to explain that. Okay. And
well, people make mistakes. I mean, how new are you in this relationship with this girl?
I think we both love each other very much, but we did.
Yeah, but how new are you? Like how you said you'd moved in 2 months ago. Were you dating her for a year prior to that, or is this, how long you been together?
Well, 2 months.
Oh, only 2 months. You moved in with her on month number 1?
Yeah.
That's a little unusual, don't you think?
But Tinder's a beautiful thing. That's besides the point, okay?
What kind of dog
I
was
want to hear
it?
the rest of the. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
What kind of dog was it?
Well, he was a pit bull meets a German Shepherd, a very beautiful, humble dog.
Okay.
Was this in Albuquerque?
I don't know. I want to know where the story's going. Okay, so the dog got let out. It got hit by a car. Then what?
I don't want to explain I didn't want to explain his injuries. We can't afford that here. They tax the hell out of that, and it's crazy. So I mean, and she wasn't home yet. She was working. She's working late today, and she wouldn't put dinner on the table. So I was curious. I wanted to know what he tasted like. Okay.
Oh my God. What?
The thigh seemed like the meatiest part of protein, and I put it on a pan. And guys, I'm really sick.
Are you saying you cooked your girlfriend's injured dog after it got hit by a car?
Guys,
Did it taste like chicken or what? Everybody wants to know.
What? I don't know if you got how I can get the smell out of this apartment. It did not taste like chicken. It tasted like the way his hair smells.
Thank you for the call tonight, Jeremy. I appreciate it. Well, I'm glad he didn't say anything profane. That was.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Wow. Okay, so there you go. Some people actually do eat dogs over in certain parts of China.
Nigeria.
Still a thing. Nigeria.
Arctic and Antarctic, Vietnam, Switzerland.
Really?
Indonesia, South Korea.
All of those places in the world still.
Yeah.
They're eating dogs.
Huh.
Yeah. All right.
Because I did go and search cultures that eat dog.
Yes, you did. You were right on time, too. It was perfect. So, choke point. What is it that you wanted to explain about choke point?
In the last 3 minutes that we have?
Yeah.
So
we did talk about it over the weekend.
Okay. So just a quick background on choke point. The government decided that the best way to get rid of businesses that it didn't like was to take away financial services from them.
So the FDIC, there were bureaucrats who allegedly told banks to cancel accounts on gun manufacturers.
It's not allegedly. This is all. There was a memo saying what types of businesses that they didn't like and that they just
what was on the memo? Gun manufacturers.
Oh gosh, it was a lot. It was the ammunition. I mean, a number of the businesses were, of course, illegal, like Ponzi
marijuana.
Schemes. The illegal ones were get rich scams, Ponzi schemes, debt consolidation scams.
Right.
So there was those types of things, but there were also legitimate businesses such as pornography.
Like payday loans, right?
The payday loans were the big emphasis of it, but also, as you said, ammunition sales, racist materials, whatever racist means.
Right.
So things of that nature. And they really pressured banks and third-party payment processors not to do business with these entities. So Congress finally found out that they were doing this, and there was congressional hearings, et cetera, and the FDIC defended its position and said they didn't do anything wrong. And then finally, when the Trump administration came in, the FDIC sent a letter to Congress saying that the program was over.
Do you believe it?
No, because what we're seeing is third-party payment processors, when they go to apply for a license, for a banking license, because that expands what you can do as a third-party payment processor, they are, at the time they are applying for the license, doing the deplatforming for things like, YouTube uses Google Wallet because YouTube is owned by Google, and right. Google Wallet had applied for a banking license right around the time they started purging people from that platform. Mm-hmm. But what we are also seeing is choke point-like activities that probably aren't coming from by the way, at the FDIC, nobody was fired, and the people who created the program are still there in the positions they were in before. And these are the people who...
So much for draining the swamp.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So we can talk more about it next week, but there's a lot having to do with MasterCard and Chase Bank that are related to Operation Choke Point, but aren't coming from the FDIC as far as
Chase is just doing its own thing, apparently. Yes. So that's Laurel Scott. YouTube channel is /Laurel's channel.
Yes.
Okay. And then Johnson, libertyminded.com, official Free Talk Live merchandise and other really cool shirts, libertyminded.com. We'll see you tomorrow.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with the Liberty Beat for Tuesday, March 5th, 2019. Gold opened the day at $1,287. Silver opened at $15.09, and Bitcoin is trading around $3,830. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a U.S. Saudi dual citizen faced prolonged torture while imprisoned in Riyadh's notorious Ritz-Carlton hotel and has since been visited by U.S. diplomatic staff. That's according to the White House. The Mind Unleashed reports that Walid Fitahi, a 54-year-old Harvard-trained physician, was among around 200 prominent Saudis who were held captive in the luxury hotel amid a major purge of the royal family ostensibly carried out in November 2017, amid an anti-corruption drive by Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Many faced severe torture and even death. Those who survived the torture were forced to sign over their fortunes to the prince as a condition of their release. Fitahi, who has been in detention since the infamous purge began, was allegedly slapped, blindfolded, stripped to his underwear, and bound to a chair, before being tortured with electric shocks in an hour-long session. That's according to a friend who spoke with the New York Times. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% off your purchase by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the Liberty Beat for Tuesday, March 5th, 2019. Your news now continues. The Chief of Staff to Democratic Socialist Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez reportedly funneled more than $1 million in political donations from 2 political action committees that he founded into 2 of his own private companies. That's according to a report from the Washington Examiner, which cites a Monday complaint filed with the Federal Election Commission. The Mind Unleashed reports that according to campaign finance attorneys, the arrangement is really weird and an indication that there's something amiss, noting that since there's no way to know where the political donations went, they could have been pocketed or used to pay for off-the-books campaign operations. While PACs are required by law to disclose how funds are used, the private companies are exempt from such reporting. The FEC complaint demands that the two PACs be audited because they were allegedly engaged in an elaborate scheme to avoid proper disclosure of campaign expenditures. Corey Jackson, a preteen rapper who goes by the name of Lil C-Note, became famous in 2017 after he appeared on The Ellen DeGeneres Show and traveled to different cities to donate his earnings in the form of toys to underprivileged children. Fast forward to 2018, and those same entrepreneurial skills, which he received praise for on Ellen, made him the target of the Georgia police state. In October of last year, Jackson was in the food court at the Cumberland Mall in Cobb County when a Georgia cop physically assaulted him and threatened him with arrest. His alleged crime was selling copies of his records to willing customers. The Free Thought Project reports that although Jackson was accused of selling his CDs in the mall, he and his attorneys deny it, and even if the aspiring young rapper was selling them, the subsequent arrest and charges were hardly appropriate for a child. Jackson is 12 years old. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat for Tuesday, March 5th, 2019. Reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Pushed to the breaking point after constantly being taken to task without ever hearing a word of thanks for what it does around here, an overwhelmed and infuriated nation announced in February that it was trying, okay? Jesus Christ. A poll of the American populace revealed that 33% felt they were doing pretty damned well, thank you, while another 28% just wanted 2 freaking minutes without somebody breathing down their neck.
We're trying as hard as we can here. How about cutting some little slack for a change, huh? You know what? This is just bullshit. I do not need this.
Christ Almighty, sources added. God distanced himself from the entire right-wing fundamentalist Christian movement, saying that he did not believe pregnancies result from his divine will. The Almighty Father went on to dismiss capital punishment, gun rights, the anti-abortion movement, and the efforts of the Westboro Baptist Church, while adding that he and Christian conservatives, quote, no longer saw eye to eye on the majority of issues. And physicists discovered that the entirety of our known universe is actually the fictional setting of a cop show called Hard Case.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Today, let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
Unafeared. Here and declare your independence of me, Ernest Hancock. Here in Phoenix, Arizona, from the BEAU studios of Freedom's on the Nest, Phoenix.com. Ooh, that was a good one. We'll drag it out. Okay. It's semi-warm here. Is it really cold where you're at? Big chill. Global warming, man. It's gonna freeze you. weather, I'm leaving Friday to go to Maine, where it's going to be a real burr chilly. And by the time I get back, man, it's going to be swimming weather. You know, it's already in the 70s and stuff here. I'm just, well, you know, sucks to be y'all. Sucks to be me here for a little bit. But we'll get to go hang out with Derek and Jay Noon and have some fun, get some work done, and be all good, and we'll tell you all about it. Now, the first hour, Donna's still trying to get him on. The gentleman that had Bill Maher, I met him at the legal hackathon that was here this last week, or the week before, and a week ago Sunday. And he's one of the final participants that made his presentation. And I'll tell you about it, even if we can't get him on. I want you to know about this. What he was doing was having a virtual reality event. You know, imagine you had a wedding and you had cameras all over. And from the different angles, you could kind of take a place in the event. Depending on the camera angle you wanted, put them on the back of chairs or so. I have no idea. You could, Fred couldn't be here, but here's his avatar. Well, they do that telepresence now with a robot that they put an iPod on the top. It shows your head there. You're like got a Skype or Zoom or something, and you see your face on it, and you're looking at the camera, and the robot kind of turns or moves, or they can put it on a pivot, on a chair, and you're there. You're looking at and talking to and have it in 3D, and you're at the table along with people. Well, what he was doing is he's been doing this, and he's going, these are events that have contractual items in it, like, wedding vows or business meetings or mergers or negotiations or arbitrations, mediation, on and on and on. And he's going, a legal community was telling me in this virtual reality thing, where are the lawyers in there? You